Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Ludi Tonight. Hello, my name is Saf. I am your host once again this evening, bringing you some awesome competitive Ludi action here on SplatoonTourney. And joined with me tonight, I have Sig and Neptune. Hello, you guys. How's it going?
Hello. It's good. How are you?
It's going pretty well on my side as well. Saf, thank you so much for being here tonight, and we have some wonderful teams to be covering here. We have two teams from Division 8 here, both 0-2 here, but hey, they're still in the running for playoffs here. We have Anemones versus, I believe it's pronounced Baja Blast. Is that how it's said?
Blaha. That's how I would say it.
I think it's like Blaha. I looked up the Swedish pronunciation a few minutes ago. I think it's like Bloho or something like that.
Oh, I'm going to. Okay.
It's a bit of a struggle. I'm gonna need to work on that one eventually.
I
might just call them BB for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, but you know what, Neptune, you just touched on it. So a 0-2 record for both teams here. Both teams looking at their first win tonight here with us. So that's going to be really exciting. We get to witness a piece of history between these two of who is going to finally get their score on the board for the Ludi season. So why don't we take it away? Tell me a little bit about these folks.
Yeah, okay. I recognize some of these members actually from BB here. So Almo, Joe, and Sploosh I recognize a little bit here. I know Sploosh is a Sploosh player, shocker of all playing. They told me the story of how they picked up the weapon. One of their friends, right, told, I believe if this is how it went here, just said, hey, you should try the Sploosh weapon out, and then basically they fell in love with it and just started playing it for the rest of their Splatoon career here. And Almo Joe, I believe I recognize for CCA for being a coach for certain college teams, specifically ESA of the WVU teams. So yeah, that's pretty cool here. But Sig, do you know anything about Anemones?
I've run into a few of these Anemone players in open, actually, namely like Marlowe and Pink, all the time. I don't know if it's like we hop on like at the same time or get off work or whatever, but they're always like on the grind at least, and they play a good variety of weapons. They're pretty good as well. I'd say they're really solid.
Okay, you know what? Hey, you know we love of those open warriors or series warriors. However, how many times you run into them, the most important thing is they get back up and they try again here and re-queue regardless of the result here. But hey, the first map coming up on this map mode is going to be a Scorch Gorge Clan Blitz here. Sig, what are your thoughts on that?
It's one of the Clan Blitz map modes that has really like worked their way into becoming a staple for competitive Splatoon. We've seen it a lot this week, obviously, but we've seen it a lot, especially in the past year and a half, now that the map rules have kind of gotten more standard, and there are a lot of ways you can play it. A big factor is just that top, mid, and greats area, where you can play some of these longer range weapons and specials to get an advantage and look into the platform and clan basket of the other team and try and get some picks and start some pushes through that way.
Yeah, definitely. Like, just a lot of those types of weapons are really able to open up mid, right? And just setting up that one person on the top mid there can just lead to like so much momentum being swung your way, right? Whether it's splatling a charger or just even like some more deadly weapons, like even rollers. Rollers can just literally sit up there and just jump scare anyone from all the way up top there as well, Sig. You'd love to see some of the crazier plays here on Ludi tonight.
Oh yeah, of course you do. Like you said, those rollers can be really effective, especially around those ledges, just constantly maintaining pushes going. And V-Roller being a really solid option in Clan Blitz as well, especially because of that big bubbler special, you know, getting buffed a few times recently to be a little bit tankier. But you can use it primarily to just as a shield. You know, you just use it as a shield either where you want to be pushing into or just in front of it. To give kind of two shields for your teammates. And there are a ton of other specials that can deal with it. You know, the meta special right now, Trizuka, can shred it relatively easily, but it's still like very strong, especially if you can get it into a really solid position like Roller can with those curling bombs.
Yeah, definitely. And we were mentioning some comments about Bubble and how it's a great shield. It's just one of those things that just secures a space on the map here. So say if it was like popped on the ramp on Scorch Gorge, right? Well, that ramp is not going to get contested by anyone who is standing inside of that bubble here. But hey, we are locking into this game here. I believe Eva's going to be BB in the bright blue here, as well as Anemones in the bright orange here.
Oh, I'm really with these comps so far. You know, some weapons that we don't see super often. I almost said Kensa Luna Blaster Neo from Sixru, and then the Vanilla Octobrush from Almojo. Some weapons that you don't really see too often, and not you can't forget the Tri-Stringer from I believe it's Katai as well.
Yeah, definitely. Tri-Stringer is one of those weapons that you don't see too often, but once you see someone bust it out, it is there to play. With the recent painting buffs as well as some additional chip damage, there is some merit to running it as your backline here. It's not a very traditional one that you see often, but it is good to see there, Sig.
Oh yeah, as we are already 40 seconds into the match, we see a lot of picks coming out on the side of Blahaj Blast on their defense here, just trading out pretty substantially. They're finally able to get out of their platform, forcing some jumps from the power clams as well, able to get a push of their own going with some of the picks here. Constantly in a 4-2 scenario right now, with the power climb from Easy and a pick coming in as well. It's going to be huge here until I believe that was the Zap player that got the pick onto the power climb, but it's not enough to fully prevent the push. Blahaj Blast is going to get that first power climb and the score in.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seemed like there was another power climb that was formed and was barely shy of hitting the basket right there. The classic Scorch power climb, and that just barely misses it and just ends up on the upper ledge where it's very difficult to get to here. Oftentimes, I'm it's very difficult to be able to score, especially because so many bodies need to be put up on this ramp and you need so much control. But no, take a look at Alamo Joe here on this Octobrush here, bobbing and weaving between these shots here, looking to get control of that ramp here. But it's going to be enemy Marlowe on the heavy edit as well, looking for opportunities to just shut down any advances that BB has been looking for.
Yeah, and the Luna Neo, I believe it's Drew from Anemones, also getting 2 picks as well, just to kind of establish the push for Anemones now. They're going to go 2 down, but they're going to find the trade onto the shot player of Blahaj Blast. Now they're going to have to deal with Almo Joe up in the top mid, like we were talking about earlier. It's a very powerful position, but they do end up taking him out at the cost of 2 other members of Anemones, though. That's going to mean that they have to back up a little bit here, and now they're going to have to face another offensive from Blahaj Blast for a little bit.
Yeah, and something that's just occurring to me right now, just like looking at the greater scope of in the picture of this Clan Blitz game, it's just a power climb is yet to be formed right here, and you typically need to see one here. As I say, that's say commentator's curse. You kind of need one to score on Clan Blitz here, and you see EBB just getting that already just before they start pushing into some specials.
Yeah, as Tari goes in for the trade with Easy, the Cattail gets another power climb in, knocking the score down to 70, and now we get some mini clams from Solution here to knock it down to 61. However, the Hammer is going to come in here to try and save the push for a little bit, finding 1 pick, finding not quite the second. Drew is going to go down to the crossfire set up by Blahaj Blast, just going a little bit too far, and now it's just up to Marlowe and Cattail to settle things in mid, while Pink is trying to recover for the rest of Anemones here.
Yeah, definitely. It's a bit of a struggle bus for Anemones currently, just constantly just having not a lot of paint presence in mid here, and that is not something you want to have in a game like Splatoon. It's paint and then objective first, and then literally you're going to be able to walk up here. But no, it seems like they're able to get the paint control right now, and Pink on this 52 here, pushing it back along with Tari here, clicking that Zuka here, looking for opportunities, just get these picks here to secure a safe pass for their power climb right here. And I believe they have a member who's slowly working their way up, but just a bit too slow there, Sig.
Yeah, they had 3 members going down there. It's just Relay with the power climb remaining, providing some jumps, but now Blahaj Blast is going to be able to move up into mid again, forcing all of the enemies all the way back here. They're still not able to get an offensive going, and they're going to need to within the next minute. And the first step of that is getting that clearly, getting some of those specials pop, just like the Hammer. Going to find a pick here, going to look for more on the Sploosh and Cattail. Are they going to find it? Yeah, 1 on the Cattail. Looking for some more on the Sploosh. Sploosh trying to hold strong, but against 3 members of Anemones, no way. Now Anemones finally has the push that they want to get here.
Yeah, definitely. The push is online here. Again, trying to get these power clans here. But no, Almojo going to drop straight on top of it, denying a lot of the points here for Anemones here. And not allowing a lead swap to happen here. Camping that power clan and really effectively here. But making sure their teammates are able to just come back here, clean up here. And now control of mid is in the hands of BB.
Yeah, I just also realized that was their pity clam from getting scored on the side of an enemy, so they're going to have to make one, and they're going to have to do it fast with only 10 seconds remaining. Marlowe's the one with the most spams, or I apologize. I believe that Drew has 6, able to make one in time, but now they're going to have to get an offensive going and score plenty of points here. That's 20 plus the 13 that they need. 33, and with Marlowe going down, it's not looking very good for them. Easy getting onto the tower climb. All they have to do is sit here and shark on it, and with two members of Anemones getting here at different timings, it's going to be very difficult for them to deal with Easy, who gets a double here on the great shark, and he's finally taken out by the hammer. But I think that's it for Anemones on this first map.
Yeah, it just felt like a little bit of clan management was like very difficult for the team right there. Just being able to have the power clamp in the right place at the right time was something that struggled with. And the biggest problem with like carrying the power clamp, right, is you see it all the way across the map. They know where you are when you're ready to score, so you have to be either in a safe position, or you have to be ready to anticipate people dropping onto you to punish you coming up with a power clamp as well, Sig.
Yeah, it can be pretty difficult, almost like a Rainmaker with the possibility of having multiple Rainmakers with your presence always being shown on the map. Granted, you don't have that timer, but you still have a much shorter overtime to work with. And we saw Easy and the rest of Blahaj Blast able to take great advantage of it with this Shark here.
Yeah, definitely. That was a fantastic strike there. It's just a little bit too late for that shark really to get value. If it was done a little bit earlier, or there's a bit more time on the clock, I'm pretty much sure enemies would have been able to just be able to get it all the way up into that ramp here and perhaps get more clams in and potentially swap the lead here. But hey, speaking of modes in which you are able to get quite a number of points on, it's going to be Sturgeon Shipyard here.
Oh yeah, tower control, you can get through these checkpoints really quickly, and some of the KOs are pretty dangerous right now. You know, you can get, there's only 2 checkpoints on the map, which means there's really, you can get it over with in 3 pushes if you're really solid about getting those checkpoints on every single push. And, you know, we've seen maps like this take a full 5 minutes, but we've seen them done in about 45 seconds before too.
Yeah, I think it just really depends on whoever gets the momentum here. You often like see people talk about tower control as the snowball mode, and the reason for that actually is going to be because the passive special charge. For folks who are unaware, right, any team that is currently riding the tower gets a little bit of a special boost while they're riding as well. So if you get 1 or 2 down and you're also riding the tower, well, hey, guess what? The next special is already be coming up here, and that next special is going to be used to push even further along the second checkpoint as well. And from there, that just kind of allows teams to just essentially create a snowball effect in which one special comes in, the next special comes out here, they get chained together, and it just becomes unstoppable to stop their Sig.
Yeah, it can be really difficult to stop those, especially if they have these super lethal specials. Like, you know, we saw some Zukas from both teams in the previous map, and those can definitely do a lot of damage. Another thing that can be great on tower control is Booyah Bomb and Tri-Strikes just for the GG options. Is that a well stringer?
That is a well stringer indeed.
Oh my god.
Okay. All the bows are coming out here to play indeed.
Oh my gosh. I love seeing these stringers. They play so different to any other backline we really have right now, and well stringer especially. They have 5 charge shots and a, you know, very interesting accuracy change when they charge all the way up. You know, getting that max charge on the first full ring, like we just saw there, and then the part it goes way back out, super wide accuracy on the second. As we see, Anemones is already, you know, getting super aggressive on the Blahaj Blast. Finding 2 members is going to be massive, and with the Booyah Bomb, they're going to be able to push so much further. And Drew on this 10 attack is going to pop those Tri-Strikes to allow even more aggression from Anemones here.
Yeah, just look how much control and like the specials out here, getting 2 members of BB down here, and they're just forced to just kind of play up on this upper half of the ramp. You normally want control that window area. Easy's going to try and put out some strikes there. Unfortunately, goes down, but hey, at least the hammer is able to trade them out here, and this is just getting very scrambly here, Sig.
Yeah, it's super scrap heavy, like most maps in Sturgeon Shipyard can turn into. A lot of picks, a lot of one-on-one fights, especially around the tower. It can get messy, and you know, if you want to win the game here, you have to be able to play messy. As we see, Blahaj Blast is able to bounce back and get that defense going. They have the strikes at the ready, and almost to a crab tank as well, to try and retake the middle of the map here, possibly get something going up themselves. Sploosh trying to go in, not quite going to find the pick on the Tari here, but another member of Blahaj Blast is ready to follow up. It's easy, going to find themselves caught in the crossfires of Anemones, and with 2 members up again, it looks like Anemones with the Booyah Bomb are going to be able to find and push again.
Yeah, definitely Anemones has just like been sitting in the driver's seat nearly this entire time here. It's very difficult to break into mid on Sturgeon, especially when they're constantly being hammered by specials and consistently getting these picks down here, especially with the wipeout right there, Sig. This looks like it's going to be a clean tower ride all the way to the second checkpoint.
Yeah, they might even get through the second checkpoint. They have that cooler up on the ready and top right, and they have Tari with this Trizuka trying to find the pick onto Alamo Joe. Not quite going to find it, but going to force him back for a little bit, enabling enemies to get past that second checkpoint. And now just drawing as many people as possible. Tari is with that splatter shot. Pink is able to jump to tower to get a couple more points, but everybody else is just going down and trying to jump back in. It's just Pink remaining, and I think that's going to be the end of the push unless they can get a crazy shark here.
Yeah, definitely. I do think most of the members are, it's seeked out here. It's time for that. And you know what? You don't need a shark, right? You just need a good old-fashioned splat bomb just to be able to get these picks here. You know, the bombs from the heavens here, always finding these picks here just when you need it here. But hey, it's also Alamo Joe on this crab tank here, holding and sustaining here, hoping to just get some picks here and just riding this tower as far as they can, just slowly but surely doing it. And that just draws the perfect attention here. And just look at all this paint here, Sig. Just all in control of BB.
Oh my gosh. They were able to capitalize so well off of that. That was crazy. Off of just a single crab tank. And now they have a bunch of specials at the ready. At least the tri-strikes. They're going to use it. Going to find a pick, a trade even. But there's still going to be one member down. It's going to be a little bit tough to fight for. And Marlowe on this tower is just going to prevent the rest of Blahaj Blast from doing anything. They're going to have to stay alive, though, and try and help out Drew against Cattail, as well as Marlowe. And now Cattail's going to have to jump out. But Blahaj Blast is still pushing this tower. They have so many specials. Like you said, with that passive special charge is going so well for them. Two members end up going down. But since they're cooled up, they can just jump right back in. We're seeing it happen. People giving jumps back to mid. The crab tank is already up as well.
My goodness, special for special, and I just see it aims like what was it? An enemies has just the right specials to be able to counter like more HP specials that are being used by BB, right? You know, you saw the crab tank there just sitting on the tower here, constantly being able to swing the momentum in their favor, right? So what's a good way to get rid of a crab here? Those tri-strikes here. You saw the You saw the 10 attack, right? Tossing out the strike strike there, and just constantly applying all this pressure and just denying any more members of BB to ride that tower.
Yeah, and now an enemy's is caught on the back foot again. These tri-strikes are coming in. Cattail's getting aggressed on, but I think that's Atari. Atari's going to have to back off, though, because of the Ultra Stamp and the two other members of Blahaj Blast looking at them. But, I mean, they're not on the tower. They're not looking at the tower contesting the rest of the enemies, and so they're able to at least get the tower pushed up a little bit and reset to mid with a lot of paint in the middle of the map.
Yeah, definitely. Just the cluster there, though, just leading to 3 members of BB, just having to fight here. Sploosh is all alone against the world. That is the tower riding forward, as well as these specials coming on. Like, Trizuka gets popped, Cooler in response right here. You need Cooler for these last 10 seconds if you want something to happen here and sustain any momentum here. But you have to get onto that tower here. Tari looking for an opportunity to jump on that tower, but no! An enemy is going to be able to take game number 2 here pretty cleanly here, Sig.
Yeah, really solid play from them. Not letting Blahaj Blast get past that second checkpoint was really huge. They were able to really use the stagger from the constant cooler deaths of Blahaj Blast against them and force everybody back with many less specials, many less specials than what they had, especially with those tri-strikes. Those are so effective for both teams, but especially for enemies.
Yeah, definitely. And you just feel like just the pressure being put on BB right now, feeling like you have to do something because this tower is coming out, these specials are coming out, and you have to just try everything in your power just to like try and sustain that space there as well. But sometimes you just need to back off and chill a little bit more. And I think that's what an enemies is able to recognize. They are kind of playing into the pressure that they have been putting out here and getting those picks and allowing the tower to go forward as far as it did.
Yeah, they were really able to just do everything right, except for getting the KO on that map. As we move on to one of those other push the objective and payload-based game modes and maps on Undertow Spillway, what do you think? What weapons do you think we're going to see, if we're going to see any changes at all on the Rainmaker?
Okay. Hear me out. Sploosh has been playing NZAP recently, right? I know Sploosh's best mode, at least the weapons, is Rainmaker. So I can totally see the Sploosh coming out here along with a Stringer here. They just practically instant pop that shield there. That would be insane object damage there, Sig.
That would be kind of nuts. If we see like a sub second pop, like maybe a half a second, That'd be insane. That provides so much area control in the middle of the map for your entire team, and Sploosh really likes it. I mean, you can shark around even with or without Ninja Squid and just take serious advantage, especially just with your fast TTK and really great mobility that the Sploosh-O-Matic provides.
Yeah, definitely. The Sploosh just provides so much utility, especially on Rainmaker, where I feel like just being able to have something that just instantly shreds the shield in a reasonable amount of time, and it's mobile as well. Like, you can also just throw the curling bomb and just swim right behind it, pick up the Rainmaker. Just, ooh, that just seems like a devious plan to get a lot of points on the board here, as both these teams are readying up here. What stands out to you, Sig?
Well, the Tri-Slosher Nouveau and Snap on the Nautilus stands out first off. And like you said, you called it, the Sploosh-O-Matic and the Wellstring. This is going to be some crazy object damage for Blaha Blast to kind of start this off. But Anemones is going to have some weapons that are really good at fighting it. And Snap on that Nautilus with the point sensor is going to just do a great job at keeping tabs on just about every member of Blaha Blast. As Anemones finds the early picks onto Sploosh, and I believe that was the shot player of Blaha's Blast, and they get the first checkpoint within 25 seconds.
Wow, this is already a gas pedal just being aimed and pushed down all the way here. And then it just hears go, 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 go. There's no need to hit the brakes here. They're giving us all this space here. We're getting these picks here. Oh my goodness, Sig. All the way down to 6 points remaining, and it's hardly been a minute on the board here.
I cannot believe it, Neptune. That is nuts. Getting 6 points within 45 seconds is absurd. Granted, you are pushed out of the other team's spawn, so you're not going to be able to get much more off of that. But when you're setting the pace like that, it's going to be so difficult for BB to just come back. And with these strikes, just forcing everybody back, and the enemies is going to get the early pop.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is like this interesting situation that BB's in right now, because they have everything they need to pop the Rainmaker. It's just a matter of getting to the Rainmaker shield first and foremost, right? Because Sploosh is constantly being walled out. They don't have the paint here. Yes, they have a curling bomb they can swim at, but that can just be easily tracked and punished accordingly. This is why it's been so difficult for Baja Blast to be able to move up accordingly right here. But hey, right now we have a little bit of map control. Zuka is coming out here. Wavebreaker is online here, so yeah. I guess you could say just like this is a bit more of a neutralized state here, Sig.
Yeah, you're definitely kind of resetting to neutral when you have that Rainmaker back in the middle of the map. You can see all these specials coming out, just trying to block off all of BB from pushing forwards, but finding the pick onto the shot is going to be absolutely massive. But Snap finds the trade onto Sploosh, and I believe it's the Rain combined with one of Drew's Splat Bombs, possibly, finding 3 members of BB. It's going to be them on the back foot again, and they're gonna have to find the pick on the Snap here with Rainmaker.
Yeah, Snap carrying this Rainmaker all the way to the left side, recognizing that most of the members of BB are stacked up on the right-hand side and are forced to rotate to look at the Rainmaker here, but Easy makes it look nice and easy with that Trizuka shot, shutting it down here, going around the flank right here. Oh my goodness, this is just quite the crossfire here from BB.
Yeah, and I think they're going to let the Rainmaker reset, willing to kind of play things a little bit safer, a little bit slow. They still have 2.5 minutes. Remember, Anemones got that all the way just in the first 45 seconds of the game, so Blaha's Blast really has had the rest of the time to try and find that lead back and make it up. They really have a ton of time to work with here still with 2 minutes remaining, and they're going to make great use of it, finding 1 pick with the hammer, make that 2 on the jump out. That's insane from Sploosh. Oh my goodness, they're going to get that Rainmaker pushed up, but Snap here going to find 1. I think that was 2, and now it's just Cattail, but Cattail finds 1 pick with the Rainmaker. That's going to be massive, providing some jumps as well, but they're going to have to deal with Drew just right on the spine. It's going to be pretty difficult. Now they're stuck in that no retreat zone, and with some tri-strikes on top of them, this is going to be really tough.
Another pick with Rainmaker. Cattail just went absolutely insane there, Sig. Just, oh my god, and a wipeout too! Just everything just happening all at the same time here, and it just seems like an enemy is with that giant lead here, doesn't know exactly how to respond to just the explosive pressure that is coming out from these Rainmaker shots, as well as the members following up from the pop as well. But now it's almost is winding down to the last part of the game here. The checkpoint still has not been cleared. This is putting a lot of pressure on BB, while Anemones just needs to find a way to restabilize and find some space back in mid.
Yeah, and these trades aren't really doing them too well. Almo Joe finds another one as well when Snap goes down, and now BB is going to find that first checkpoint. They're all coolered up, all ready for another push. Almo Joe picks up the Rainmaker. Now they're going to have to find the pick on the Snap, and Tari and Marlowe here to at least get something going.
Wait.
Almo Joe just rushes through with Sploosh's hammer, down to 12 points. And with the member advantage, they're going to find the full white on the Bloodhound Blast. Wait a minute, this is entirely possible. They can get even KO even, and they do. Bloodhound Blast, that was nuts at the end there.
That was absolutely crazy there. The last minute here, I call this the standard Rainmaker experience. A team pushes up, gets a lot of points on the board, gets a game-winning score at the end of the day here, right? Theoretically, that team who pushed first can just sit back, relax, put up their legs, just play defense for the rest. But no. The enemy team that is in the deficit, in this case BB, has a way to just consistently run the Rainmaker and hammer it home here. They've got the picks they needed. The Rainmaker is picked up, and as well as the quick pops, as well as the wipeouts coming back to back, just allowed them to be able to swim all the way forward here. Beautiful team coordination as well, swimming right behind the hammer as well.
That was just nuts. I can't believe they got that to work. Marlowe got the trade with that Tri-Slasher on the easy, but I mean, when you have everybody jumping back, like we said earlier, like right before that happened, everybody was coolered, so Bloodhound Blast was able to keep that pace up and just get jumps back into Cattail. Cattail, with that well string, like we were talking about, is able to pop that Rainmaker shield. I think that's in 2 shots with Object Shredder. That's insane. That again allows for just such an absurd pace of play if you like get trades or win the wipeout battle. It's kind of nuts. I can't believe that they were able to pull that back. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Object damage is the name of the game, and BB practically just ran with it, right? It's like, hey, this Rainmaker shield, once we get eyes on it, we will pop it, we will threaten space here, and we will punish you if you get anywhere near that as well. And that's exactly what just happened there. Just these fast paws back to back. And I gotta give a shout out to Cattail there. Rocking that Rainmaker. We see them on the stringer a couple of times here, but I think with the nearly, I think, a 4K with the Rainmaker, I think the Rainmaker is actually their main there. So.
Honestly,
I was sitting over here like, what?
Damn, I heard you. I was like, I gotta lock in for this. That was insane. Again, like you said, Saf is just like, or Saf. Cattail is a Rainmaker main. That's the only explanation.
Go on.
I guess because the arc shots and everything, you know, it matches up with the Rainmaker shots and everything, right?
Yeah, definitely.
My tinfoil hat's on now.
The tinfoil hat's on. Okay, I made a loop. Okay, yeah, the tinfoil hat. Yeah, I gotta wear that. You know, I'll go full Alex Jones on this and just analyze the object damage as going
full Alex Jones. Do not go full Alex Jones, Neptune.
I don't know what I'm talking about. We're going into game number 3, right? This is game 3. I know how to do it. No, game number 4 here. I promise I graduated the 1st grade here.
We're gonna see some runbacks from enemies here with the S-Blast. Something we really didn't touch on. A weapon that has come out recently that we haven't seen a lot of presence in recently, and I can't for the life of me figure out why, is they get 2 picks on the right side, and an enemy takes early control of this zones with an early teamfight win. I think that's 3 down in their favor as well, taking down past 80 points already. It's just Cattail remaining with this Ultra Stamp. And now, granted, they're close to the Zuka as well on the side of Bloodhound Blast, but they still need to retake control of the zone, find a bunch of picks, and they do so. They find 3. It's just Tari left on that shot, and they have to jump out immediately, and Bloodhound Blast is going to take back control of the zone pretty quick.
Yeah, definitely. There is a good back and forth here on Umami zones here. I think it just, with the recent map changes, it just allows teams to more comfortably come up with ways to push here. But Alamo Joe looking for the shot opportunity, going up into that enemy EE space right there with that Octobrush, securing a pick on the Trizuka, one of the more valuable specials here, allowing the lead swap to happen already here, as an enemy just does not have a response to what is going on here. But wait, the Nautilus is able to get a kill with the Rain, I believe, as well, or what was that?
I think that was the Inkstorm. I'd be shocked if they could find picks with the point sensor. So I believe that was the Inkstorm. coming out from them. Great finding picks there with the chip damage as well. That's going to put Anemones on this gas pedal again. However, Snap is going to have to just stand tall against 3 members strong of Blahaj Blast. Going to find one. Going to have to back off, though, and give the zones. You know, that's more than worth it if you are able to stay alive. But Anemones isn't quite able to with the Zuka coming through from Blahaj Blast. Finding 3, finding 4. Now they're going to be stuck on the back foot again. Blahaj Blast remains in control of the zone, and they only have 10 penalty points to chew through before they can start extending their lead even further.
Yeah, definitely. The penalty points are basically going to be chewed through immediately. Points are ticking down here. So this puts Anemones out of position here. Like, hey, we need to break through and keep this through. But BB smartly backing up here, giving the space that is necessary that Anemones did with their specials here. And then just looking for an opportunity to recap zone here. But you remember, Ursik, Umami zones is 2 zones, actually. So capping 1 zone is not going to put you back into penalty.
Yeah, you have to get both of them, and they're pretty sizable zones for a double zones map as well. Definitely larger than something along the likes of Undertow Spillway. And it looks like Blahaj Blast is going to remain in control, finding so many picks as well to close out the game. They're going to end here with a KO. It's just the S-Blast remaining, and they're not going to be able to cap the zone in time. That's a full KO for Blahaj Blast, and they're up 3-1 in the set.
Yeah, beautifully played on splat zones there from BB. Just a lot of good pressure, good opportunities to capitalize on, shutting down some of the more important specials as well as respecting the specials that did come out here and just maintaining all that control of mid as well. And just holding on to that 1 zone sig just allowed them to be able to just extend this lead and not go into penalty points and fully knock it out here.
Yeah, Easy and Cattail really just prevented anybody from getting over into that right-hand side from Anemones. And, you know, like you said, that just enabled them to get so much in terms of points and, you know, not penalty through. And these suction bomb setups were really well placed as well. You see 2 of them right there, just forcing Snap to run into the other. Really well done. And then the chip damage from the tri-string on that, or from the well string on the top right, and then Elmo Joe just holding strong in front left of zone. Great cleanup there from Blahaj Blast.
Yeah, definitely great cleanup indeed here. And I just got to give a shout out to all the BB members, you know, constantly recognizing like this is their win condition here. It feels like they got a little bit of a download on Anemones and how they like to play, and recognize, hey, if they're going to play this way, let's just play a little bit more safer here. Let's take some of these team fights. Let's act on some of these opportunities more and just really run home with these opportunities. And that's exactly what led to the knockout there, Sig.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're going to move on to a map that's a little bit tougher to knock out on compared to zones. It's going to be Clam Blitz on Museum del Alfonsino. Pretty big map. We haven't seen any super long-range weapons outside the vanilla tri-stringer. Or was that vanilla or incline?
I think it was vanilla. I could be wrong though. I don't know. All these tri-stringer kits, man. It just makes me angry if from a non-tri-stringer perspective, and I can't imagine being a tri-stringer player and looking with some of those kits right there. Because man, I want some more lethal specials like Crab Tank, but instead you're stuck with super chumps. Oh my god.
Killer Whale is honestly pretty solid for stringer. I played it a lot. You know, nothing super serious outside of a couple scrims a while ago, but it definitely can get some work done if you're good at using the main weapon. It's just a question of how good are you at that main weapon, and we figured out from Blahaj Blast that Cattail's pretty good at it. At least. Cattail's pretty good at using the stringers.
Oh yeah, 100% Cattail getting all the shoutouts here for not only being a fantastic stringer player, also fantastic rainmaker. They're just the anchor that just holds the glue together for BB's comp right there. Because you have an aggro options right with your shot, you have your NZAP there providing your support, as well as that Octobus that is ready and willing to take the names of anyone who dare try and swim up there without checking the paint around the map there. But hey, you know what? Let's say this. I could see it going either way still, because game number 5 with Clamblet, it should be very interesting given what we saw in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, it was still, you know, relatively close for both teams. I mean, the score didn't really cater too far to the side of either team, but I will say that Blahaj Blast seemed very comfortable when they played on Scorch Gorge. I want to see if it changes here at all, just because of how different the map is.
Yeah, definitely. It is a bit of a work here to get to that basket, right? It is a little bit of a longer way to make your way up to the spinner as well as crossing it into the spawn area. But hey, instantly 2 members of an enemies go down here from, I believe, Cattail, as well as the other members, constantly hammering home these just chip damage as well. But hey, Marlo is going to set up on top of the spinner here, looking for an opportunity to push the spinner here. And now it just seems like Anemones is just back in control despite going 2 down there at the start of the game.
Yeah, they were able to stabilize really well, provide those jumps back in. Pink is already moving so far forwards on this 52 Gal. Gonna find, not quite gonna find the frag on the Easy, actually. Gonna set up that wall. Gonna go down, though, because Easy was able to sneak past it just in the nick of time before it went up. And now Blahaj Blast is really able to set up a little bit more stable of a hold inside of their own platform. But they're gonna need to find more to force enemies back even further.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you get set up on the spinner right here. You just need to be patient and look for these picks here, or use a special to brute force your way here. And that's exactly what Anemones did here. But unfortunately, it gets shut down here. But hey, that's still a really respectable push, going all the way down to 62. That's practically 2 power claims here. Wait, Pink's trying to go for another one, 59.
Yeah, Pink got that last one in. Now, you know, Anemones could have just gotten 2 whole power clam, or sorry, Blahaj Blast could have gotten 2 power clams in to take that lead, but now they're gonna get that. Now they're gonna need to get that, and then just a touch more to be able to take back that lead. Let's see if they do so. Marlo's already on the 6 clams, and there are plenty just sitting around the map. Gonna make that power clam as I say that. They're gonna find 2 picks in their favor, while Blahaj Blast is going to try and hold this off here. Marlo is just getting aggressive even in the face of danger in that Trizuka. They're looking for another push and another sneak in through the bombs, through the fire and the flames, and Marlo is able to sneak in another power clam.
Yeah, definitely. Sneaking in that power climb was a pretty good idea here. But however, you are giving an opportunity for BB to get another pity here as well. I assume one of the members is going to run back for it. Sploosh already got a Avid online here. I assume what's going to be happening now is all these members are going to be looking on the right side of the ramp here, getting these specials ready. And you see so many specials on the side of BB up and ready here. Cooler gets dished out here. You know, you have Zipcaster and Hammer ready to push that by here. You see there's the Zipcaster, there's the Zuka. Everything just is the kitchen sink's being thrown out here, Sig.
Yeah, it's just that Ultra Stamps remaining on both sides. Cattail's going to have to hightail it out of there, though, as multiple members go down. I believe that is Tari on the flank. Going to provide a few issues as well as 6. And I believe that's Pink. Yeah, Pink on that 52 Gal, just going to provide several problems for the side of Blahaj Blast. Just trying to get that aggression going again. And Anemones has really remained in a lot of control of mid in this map.
Yeah, there's just so... Anemones, as you said before, just doing such a good job of just controlling the spinner of this map here. Especially with Marlo constantly on this heavy edit here, just putting out a lot of paint and pressure to any member who tries to dare walk up just so effortlessly. But 3 go down BB here. This is Anemones' time to take those power clams here and run all the way up here. These are going to be a lot of points here, Sig.
Oh, yeah, they are. Except if Blahaj Blast can actually shut everybody down. It looks like they're able to shut most of them down. Marlo also missing that power clam throw is going to be pretty rough for them. It's just Pink and I believe it's 6 left. However, Pink with that Killer Whale 5.1 is going to find 2 picks from it, and now 6 is going to be able to toss that power clam. No, not quite! Cattail with the stringer is going to come in clutch, shut down everything that Anemones was going to be going for, and now they have another lease of life.
Yeah, definitely. The story of this game is the power clam that just refuses to be scored because as Cattail will just decide to snipe you with the well stringer right there. It just does so much damage, especially when you're caught in, or was it the radius of those exploding models as well. So yeah, this is just going to be a very difficult situation because as BB is looking for opportunity to just go up on the ramp here, but just constantly just get stuck on their spinner. Defends it pretty well here, but just can't move past mid here.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. However, they do find the man advantage with that Trizuka pick. Now, Easy's going to try and get a little bit aggressive. However, with 2 members holding around that ramp area for Anemones, it's going to be pretty tough with the short range that Blahaj Blast has to work with. Now make that 3. They're going to have to use some bombs and the chip damage from Cattail to possibly get a few picks. That's one of them in their favor, but they're going to have to move pretty fast with the Ultra Stamp that they have left, and it's not going to... or with the Ultra Stamp and the Zipcaster, and they're going to have to move like right now to start this overtime off.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the specials that is online is also Zipcaster, so I'm waiting for it to be popped. There it is right here. Unfortunately gets traded out here. 3 members here, but no, Cattail comes in and jump scare with the Ultra Stamp here. But unfortunately, with all the other members going down here, there's not going to be an opportunity to score or in the basket here, giving game number 5 to Anemones.
Yeah, they're able to clutch up, not allowing Bahaj Blast to get on the match point there. And I don't know how many just, great, terrible situations for them that they turned into great ones. I don't know how. I think it was a lot of stabilization from them and just finding these great trades. Really just well done, just staying in that safety range for Anemones.
Yeah, definitely. Does a really good job just like punishing any of these what was it? Any of these enemy members just from going up onto the basket here. However, it's just not going to be enough to be able to get all the way up onto the basket here. It just felt like both these teams were just so good at playing defense here, Sig, that just they can't move up at all. Otherwise, they get hosed down by whatever person is in position to punish.
Yeah, exactly. The 2 members of Anemones right there, I believe that was Tari and 6 on that left-hand side, single-handedly shutting down 3, possibly even 4 members of Anemones in that overtime was absolutely massive. Shutting down the Zipcaster, the Hammer once Cattail tried dump scaring everybody, and then the other 2 members that were pushing with those specials. Really, really solid defense from them at the end there.
Yeah, solid defense indeed here. And what's a good map to play defense on, Sig? It's going to be TC Haggle. Oh my god, you can play defense here for days and that tower won't move anywhere.
Yeah, especially if you're not able to get... You know where that checkpoint is? Just to the right of that. If you're not able to get in that little top right area and push people out of their spawn, their high ground spawn, you can get that tower stuck there for quite a while.
Yeah, definitely. I believe you're talking about the second checkpoint, right?
The second check.
Okay. I recently was talking with my teammates and like, what was the most difficult tower control checkpoint that is to break here? And a lot of us just said TC Haggle second checkpoint, right? And literally we were talking about ways to like specifically you just try and get through it. You see a lot of CRB players, using Kraken to just try and clear it, or like a bubble from a junior or like a roller. There's a lot of different ways you can cheese stuff in this game here, and oftentimes you're gonna have to have something online to be able to break through that second checkpoint.
Yeah, it can be a tough cookie to crack, especially if you just can't get members in position or in front of the tower, really. You can always brute force it with specials or something, but that's not always the most consistent thing, especially in this Trizuka meta, where Trizuka is still kind of a lottery special.
Yeah, definitely. It is the lottery special. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Sometimes you get 3, sometimes you get 1, sometimes you get no one here. But I do think the most consistent aspect of Trizuka as a Trizuka user myself is going to be the indirect damage, right? As long as you have your teammates follow up with that and the chip damage is applied, right? I believe that can be played around really well and just on a map as open as Haggle here, Zuka can still get quite a lot of value even if it's not getting the directs.
Oh yeah, for sure. It can clear out a lot of those different spaces where backlines especially like to sit. So Cattail might have a little bit of a tougher time just trying to play right by that ink rail in the spawn, right by the little tarp glass area as well. And just sitting on tower can be really difficult for backlines to play when you have that constant pressure of like tri-strikes and Trizuka coming at you just all the time.
Yeah, definitely. When specials are just being forced down a certain lane or a choke point right there, it's very difficult to just be able to just like sustain that area. And that's the point where it's just like, okay, if so many specials and just everything in the kitchen sink's being thrown at me, I'm just going to back up. I'm going to chill. I'm going to relax. I'm going to let these specials just happen here and accept the fact that that space is taken here. I'm going to charge up a special of my own and take that space back here. But it's just a matter of efficiency, Sig.
It really is. It's just, can you give your specials enough value, and can your teammates play off of them well enough to get into these annoying spots and force people out from where they could pressure tower in, if you didn't. And we're gonna move over here to the game. We see, Almo Joe is on those tri-strikes off of that O-brush, and we see, I believe it's 6 as well onto the 10-tech splatter shot.
Yeah, definitely. I love my shooters here. We love our shots here. We have tri-strikes on both sides here, and those are just going to be, let's just say, a good opportunity to be able to push the tower as well as stop tower pushes as well. It's a very versatile special city.
Yeah, oh, for sure. You can smoke screen with it even as well. And we're going to see some of those uses that you were just talking about. Alamo Joe forcing Snap off the tower, finding the pick because they weren't able to back off. However, Marlowe's going to be here contesting while I believe 6, yeah, forcing those strikes. Going to put the cooler onto the jump points and just keep this tempo up for an enemies here. It's looking pretty solid for them, even if it's just a 3-on-3 that they're playing at right now.
Yeah, 3-on-3 situation like that can always be a little bit tricky to defuse here because, oh, should I wait for my teammate to respond here? Should we regroup? Or should we try and push with the advantage that we currently have as well as to try and maintain the space that we have here? But hey, multiple numbers are going down here, but hey, an enemies is able to clear this first checkpoint and it's being relatively uncontested here, Sig.
Yeah, Easy was able to find 2 members, almost a third as well. That's going to force all of an enemies back, and that's going to mean that Blahaj Blast is going to get away with only having the first checkpoint and then a couple extra points off of that. Uh-oh.
I think that was a Zuko moment right there because I saw all 3 names clump up at the end there, Sig, and I was like, I was just ready for a situation where like the chat just typed Zuko moment, but hey, it is the lottery special as you said the other day, and this time it's not going to be able to cash out here.
You almost gave me a heart attack. There's the Booyah Bomb comes out from an enemies just to try and stop this push from Blahaj Blast. It's going to be a little unsuccessful. However, they're going to find 1 pick, make that trades though, as Marlowe finds 2, going to force that tower back. 3-4 members of Blahaj Blast going down there, and now they're going to find themselves on the back foot, especially with the tri-strikes from 6. It's going to be pretty tough to get anything moving with those on the table. But as I say that, 6 gets taken down, and I believe that's Cattail with the Ultra Stamp at the ready to try and make something happen with these tri-strikes.
Yeah, definitely. Strikes is one of the special that is able to get everyone off that tower there, and that's just that little bit of an opportunity window is exactly what you need to be able to restabilize the push here. Because even though like you temporarily hop off tower because of the strikes here, that just allows just the enemy team to be able to capitalize off that and just push you further back here, and it's allowing a little bit more breathing room to take back the court on Hagglefish Market.
Yeah, very versatile special, and a lot of really good plays here. Drew's going to try and find a flank here onto the left. Not going to be successful, but able to draw several members of Blahaj Blast over to there and forcing Cattail to kind of be stuck on their own. But with these strikes, not much is going to come from it. An enemy's just going to find the flank with Drew. With that Booyah Bomb coming in from Pink, Pink is going to find a 1v1 onto Cattail. Going to find the pick as well. It's just Almo, Joe, and Sploosh trying to clean it up, get that trade off. But 6 is there in their stead, trying just constantly getting these trades. Easy goes down as well. I think that means an enemies is going to be able to find Almo, Joe, and maybe push that tower with their 4 members strong to Blahaj Blast 2.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very tricky situation to be in, especially when you're caught in this crossfire and have a point sensor on the what was it, on your back here as well. You're going to be hunted down. Apparently, getting a pick on the cooler as well is just so valuable here. So now an enemy is going to be in a position here to hopefully try and push this here. Sitting inside your own rain here to try and live, but strikes, unfortunately, Sig, are just too strong.
Yeah, you get Venn diagrammed a little bit there. It's really hard to stay alive. You have to just move into really a situation that you don't want to be in either way. You're either way behind the tower and struggling to get on, or you're fighting 3 members of Blahaj Blast. But an enemy is able to hold strong, just provide some jumps, get those coolers in. They're going to break through this 3rd checkpoint, and I think they're just looking for the KO with 2 members on the tower here. Yeah, they are.
Oh my goodness, that was an insane checkpoint clear. Just going back and forth a little bit here, clearing that 2nd checkpoint, and just kind of just snowballing it towards the end there. Typically speaking, if you are able to get that 3rd checkpoint, right, that is practically GG's, right? The hard part is the 2nd checkpoint, the 3rd one, and the knockout there. Just a little bit extra time here. You just need to be set up properly.
Yeah, you do. It's it's pretty rough just to get past the 2nd one, like you just said. These tri-strikes, the damage from Cattail as well. But this Booyah Bomb forcing Cattail to drop was so massive. They weren't quite able to find any picks on the flank. Quite the contrary, trying to jump out, but doing that successfully. But you're still just going back to your spawn really, and then I believe that was 6. Yeah, 6 was able to get those tri-strikes off, force Sploosh a little bit further back to just eat the rest of that checkpoint and enable the team to get in front of the tower.
Yeah, definitely. It's just one of those situations that's just like, you got me here. We'll bounce back a little bit next time here. But hey, I think the most important thing, just like going into these sets and like knowing it's a best of 9, is there is wiggle room, right? You can lose a couple of games. Hey, that might not be our best bat mode, or like, oh, they just outplayed us here. We won't allow it to happen here. Now, essentially, it just becomes effectively, I believe, a best of 5, right? Am I doing math here right? Or best of 3? Best of 3.
3, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a first to 5, so it's best of 3 right now. But we're gonna move on to Robo Ramen. Now it's really like clutch time for Blahaj Blast. You were up 3-1. Now you need to, get that momentum back, try and snag it out of an enemy's hands before they can really just run away with the set and the comeback here. And you're gonna have to do that starting off on Robo Ramen.
Yeah, definitely. Robo Ramen, I honestly like the Rainmaker map mode here is probably one of the more interesting map modes for Ludi, right? You typically just see zones for Robo Ramen. You don't really see anything else here. So it's interesting to see more map modes being played on a I guess, pretty well-liked map for like a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely, like you said, not a map mode that we see super often. It does have those 2 checkpoints, but one of them is a lot harder to get to than the other, just, being in that lower pit area. You're kind of subject to a firing squad of the other team, just, constantly able to look down on you from so many different angles. But if you're able to get, just sneak the Rainmaker through that right path while nobody's looking, it can lead to a lot of points for your team. And I'm very curious to see if that'll happen at all. We see a ton of Rainmaker sneaks on stream, a lot.
100%.
This mode has definitely come under the scrutiny of the public eye of the community, partially because of those recently as well.
Oh my goodness! You know what I like to say to them? I call it a skill issue. You didn't see the Rainmaker being picked up and it just running away here. It's not your fault if you're off in Wonderland or whatever place you are, or a different zip code while the Rainmaker gets to run for free. But in my opinion here, this is going to be a very interesting game here. Cattail gets to pick up their main weapon, which is actually the Rainmaker, potentially, as well as you get to see the crazy object damage coming out with the Wellstring here, as well as the Sploosh. So I'm really excited to see what BB is going to be able to do and how Anemones is going to be able to counter just how the strategy that BB has for this.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to run it back with the comp they used on Rainmaker Undertow with this Trien T-Tech Gnaw. And is that a decaf?
That is a decaf. You are very excited to see a decaf here, Sig, aren't you?
Well, yeah, we haven't seen those a lot, but it's going to go down immediately to the Rainmaker pop, and then he's able to out-damage the sword and Tri-Stringer, or Wellstring pop, but gonna just go down a little bit, almost immediately after, and it's going to make things really tough for themselves to try and keep the push going, and Wild Blast is going to capitalize pretty well with this. However, Zuka is going to come out, not quite going to find a pick on the Alamo Joe, but going to be a huge amount of chip damage and forcing all BB back here and enabling enemies to get that pop and get some aggression going with Marlowe on this Tri-Slosh going to find a pick. Snap is trying to just stay alive here with the Rainmaker. It's going to be tough between the Wellstringer shots, the Zuka shots, and that Ink Pack just putting on the pain right now. However, they're going to survive the entire onslaught and finally try and break through this first check.
Oh yeah, breaking through this first check, but trading nearly 3 members. Oh wow, the Nautilus was able to jump out of that, sneakily dodging an Ultra Stamp there. That is probably one of the craziest jump outs I think I've seen all day here, Sig.
That's honestly nuts. I can't believe they got away with that. And with Easy on this Rainmaker, I think this whole team might be maining this weapon. And they're just taking turns with it. They find the random picks onto that. And the pop kill as well. They get 2 just to trade it out. They could definitely take lead here with Cattail on the hammer. Easy does so. And it's just going to run it up while Cattail just makes enough space to get down to 32 points for BB. That's absolutely nuts. And Sploosh is still alive.
Oh my goodness, Sploosh Skills holding that choke point is absolutely insane. But I think you might be on this thing here, Sig. Just every single one of these guys is on BB. Probably are Rainmaker mains, right? They will pick it up with whatever opportunity is necessary here, and that is what I like to call just being a team player here. To see Rainmaker play like you talked about earlier, Sig.
Oh my goodness! I better buy lottery tickets or something. Oh my goodness!
Oh my God.
That. Oh my! How did you sneak through there? How? There's no way!
Oh man,
Enemies are going to be able to
weapons.
try and get something going here, but they're going to have to deal with, again, this pack Zuka coming from Almojo and Easy. Going to find 2 picks. The Rainmaker is still standing, though, and same thing with Marlowe. However, they're much further back than the rest of the team was. Going to find a pick just to kind of even it out, provide some jumps here. Six is going to stay alive for a little bit, try and break that wall down. But Almojo just throwing caution to the wind here, trying to find that pick. Not quite going to do it. Getting 80 damage, though, on the Marlowe's, on the Rainmaker is going to be absolutely massive for this.
Oh yeah, definitely. It seems like they're trying to run it through the right side here, but hey, Sploosh is up and ready for this situation here. Not playing the Sploosh is this time around here. The end zap is still a pretty good one here, but hey, now they get to lock in with their main weapon here. The Rainmaker is up and ready here, firing these really aggressive shots here, because this is something people need to realize. You can still be rather aggressive and put pressure on with the Rainmaker. It's a decent main weapon here when it's set up and being able to hang back with the net of your teammates protecting you.
Yeah, it is by no means a bad weapon. The amount of damage that it can output on objects, too, is absurd, as Snap just finds 2 kills on a drop flank. Really well done. Gonna stay alive while Almojo's just trying to back up a little bit. Snap trying to pick up that Rainmaker in the face of the Inkjet. It's not quite gonna happen, though. Almojo's gonna look for 2. Teammate's gonna find up with the cleanup, make that a 3rd, and they're looking for that final 4th. It's Tari. They're gonna have to jump out after they drop. And an enemy, and Loud Blast is looking to extend their lead even further. I don't even think they're going to be able to, though, with this Zuka coming out. However, Cattail's just going to prove me wrong with this hammer. Knock it down to all 11? This hammer's working so well for them.
Yeah, definitely. I really like the combo that BB has going on here. There's always been at least, I believe, 1 hammer weapon on a Rainmaker map here. Essentially, the classic combo of just Ultra Step being able to just instantly pop the shield as well as have someone grab and run behind it here. That just goes to show that BB he feels at home when the Rainmaker is in their hands.
Oh yeah, for sure. They have shown their comfort on this mode time and time again. And with that trade coming in, Snap is still up. That might benefit them pretty well on the side of an enemy. Not quite, though, as Snap runs into both Sploosh and Almojo. But 6 is going to try and sneak it forwards. Are they going to be able to get all the points? No, not quite. Just getting into the corner gives you 17, unfortunately, for them. And that means Wild Blast is going to be able to hold on to their lead here, probably get the pop here, and maybe an eventual reset. It looks like they're just going to opt to run it left here with that hammer protecting it. Tari's going to go down here, as well as 2 other members to the hammer of Cattail, and with the Rainmaker reset, 6 still gets another chance, but I don't think they're going to be able to pop the Rainmaker quite in time with the members, with Sploosh and Cattail right there.
Oh man, Rainmaker Pop, my name is BB. We will have Rainmaker Pop tonight here. We are eating well tonight. Man, what's on the course for Ludi tonight? Man, Rainmaker Pop with the side of Rainmaker shots. I don't know. I think that's what's on the menu there.
Yeah, a ton of chip damage, I'll tell you that much.
Ooh, chip damage. Oh, I love chip damage here, you know, especially when they're being complimented by teammates here to follow it up. Ooh, that's a really good dish to finish off the whole meal.
Oh yeah, for sure. Again, Blast played this really well macro-wise. I think that was that Almojo? Yeah, Almojo was able to drop it really quickly. Just make that great decision to reset. You know, Tari was trying to just rush in to try and pick it up and sneak it through. But just great awareness from Blast from throughout the entire time. Able to get that flank off as well earlier. It was absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe that worked.
Yeah, definitely. It just really it was just so well played at just the right time here, and they recognized the win condition and what an enemy is needed to have to be able to have an overtime, and just flat out denied it there. Just really well played and recognizing of the game state and just being able to put it here. But now this puts us at match point. This is danger territory for enemies, and BB just needs one more game to secure their first win in the Ludi season here.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's clutch time for an enemies, and they're going to be able to, or they're going to need to take this shift-shaped Splat Zones mode here, and I think they might have some pretty good weapons to do so if they run back the last comp. I think Tri-Slosher might be pretty strong here with those Fizzy Bombs. What do you think about it, Neptune?
Fizzy bombs here on Ship Shape Cargo Co. Okay, give me a sec to think about this. So, Fizzy bomb's a good sub, a very good sub. Sometimes the main weapon is just the Fizzy bomb because it's just that good. I can see just because so many people just like use Fizzy bomb for like everything. Oh, need a paint trail, throw a Fizzy bomb. Needed to put some chip damage, throw a Fizzy bomb. Need a paint for a special, throw a Fizzy bomb. You see the pattern I'm creating here, Sig, right?
It's just like a one-size-fits-all kind of sub-weapon, and it's super cheap as well. You don't need to run that much investment to get double of them. I think you need like 2 mains and 1 sub, I think it is, of Sub Saver. And if you just run like 1 main, 1 sub, and then come back, you're still getting a really solid amount of Fizzy Bombs, and that's super doable on Tri-Slosher.
Yeah, super doable on Tri-Slosher. Tri-Slosher mains out there, loving the Fizzy spam, loving to get the cooler here, and then just respawning instantly. I could definitely see it coming out here, especially on a map mode like Ship Shape, where you want to have a little bit of AoE weapons to pressure some of the upper areas of the map here. But hey, we are locking it in, and we see the Inkline and Tri-Stringer rocking the Super Chumps and the Sprinkler here.
Yeah, we haven't seen this since game 1. It's honestly, it's pretty solid. I mean, Stringers can kind of have free reign from these uprights on either side of the map. Honestly, a really solid weapon in this, especially with those paint buffs they got in the most recent patch. It's going to be pretty good for them, but Anemones, despite that, is going to be able to take that first zone. Numbers go down. Cattail is able to pop these Tri-Strikes. However, Marlowe's in a really solid spot to kind of just be a nuisance here. However, 3 members of their team goes down, including them. And that's going to mean that Blast is going to be able to just pop the Zipcaster and get so many points. Not quite going to find a pick with it, but it's looking really good for them so far.
Yeah, definitely. And Cattail is set up there on the top left here, putting that chip damage down already on zone here. Booyah Bomb gets popped here just to live for a little bit longer here. And is able to get a trade here, Sig. That was absolutely insane. No, that was a shot right there, okay?
There was a shot involved. Not quite finding I can't believe Pink got that. That was absurd. That just goes to show the versatility of S-Blast, really. You got that burst bump for the extra chip damage, and then you just need one direct from that big ol' thing where you jump. That worked out really well for them, but Anemones with that are able to retake the zone here and put Blast on the back foot for the first time in a little bit here, just about a minute. And Pink is putting so much damage off on the Sploosh and the rest of the team. Can they find the pick? No, not quite. They found one, but not the second. That's going to mean that Blast are able to neutralize the zone for a little bit, not quite going to flip it. And 6 is going to be able to find a pick on the Sploosh here. It's looking really good for them to take lead, especially when they pop that Trizuka. Is it going to find a pick? Let's take a look.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think the Zuka cash out this time here, but what is something that Anemones is cashing out on. It's the points on the zone right now. Time is ticking here, and BB needs to find a solution or some way to break into mid right now. Cooler got dished out here. Zipcaster going to be online. Unfortunate bomb death on the zone here. That could be the difference maker here as a member of BB swarm this zone here to cap it, barely hanging onto their match point here.
Yeah, able to flip that zone just before the KO is just really, really good timing for Blast. They're able to get another release of life. 6 is going gambling on the top right, not quite going to find anything more than just a single pick. But that's sometimes all you need. It's not going to lead to much, though, just in zone neutralization. But with this flank, they have a really good shot here. Anemones is going to neutralize the zone. Almojo is trying to find some picks, going to get traded out. And Anemones with that is going to be able to push forward, take that zone, and now put Blast on the in the passenger seat again.
Yeah, definitely the passenger seat being put in there. It's just a very unfortunate circumstance, especially when Azuka just comes straight for your face right there. Getting a clean double here. It's just going to allow the member who's a BB just like a little bit look forward ahead of zone here. But unfortunately, they just get traded out here, and I'm not going to be able to hold the zone as long as they'd like to.
Yeah, no, not quite. They're still stuck at 42 points with this penalty. They're going to need to just find something and fast. And it's not looking good for them. They have 2 uncooler deaths that are coming through. However, they're going to find some great trades. And with the Zipcaster pop, Almojo is looking for picks, and they find one. Going to maintain control of that zone with Cattail, just painting with that Sprinkler and that Tri-Stringer. And finding that man advantage is going to be absolutely massive, which they do so. And they're very close to some very important specials here with that Trizuka and the Tacticooler to be able to hold on for as long as humanly possible.
Yeah, this is such a good position to be if you're BB. You know, you have your stringer set up here. You have the specials getting up and ready here. Now all you need to do is just watch this corner entryway here, as well as just look for ways to pick off people as they get in the zone here, which is exactly what Easy's gonna do here, making it look not quite easy, but like definitely doable to be able to keep going here. But the jumps on top of the zone here, Alamo Joe with the drop roller Octo Brush automatically being able to live just because of that an ability there. You'd love to see it, they say.
That was absurd. Great play using that armor from Zipcaster, and they were able to get that full flip off because of it, forcing 3 members to kind of scatter using that Zipcaster. They do end up going down, but they're already back, and they're looking to just maintain control of the zone with only 30 seconds remaining. They're going to need that full 30 seconds to try and make something happen here. When Sploosh going down, it means they're going to be in quite a pickle, especially with Pink and Marlowe getting aggressive onto Easy. Here, Pink is going to go down, but Easy's traded out by 6, and Alamo Joe goes down to the rain. This is going to be really tough for them. You're going to need to get going now, 2 members down.
Yeah, definitely. It is do or die here. 10 seconds left on the clock. 2 members down here, and it's just going to be the Octopus doing everything they can to be able to go through, but only so much can happen here when it's 10 seconds here, and the zone needs to be capped here. That's a game 9 situation here, Sig. I think this is the second time I'm commentating a set here on Looney tonight where it goes to game 9. I cannot catch a break.
No, you're here for the full time. You're here for a long time and a pretty good time.
My goodness.
Oh my goodness. We're going. This is the first game 9
right.
I've seen in a minute.
Oh my goodness. Yo, hit that everyone announcement here. We have a game 9 for you folks is coming in here.
Yep.
We're having quite the game 9 situation here between Anemones here as well as BB here. All I got to talk about these 2 teams here is BB is rocking it with a tri-stringer as well as some rather unconventional weapons that are relatively aggro, as well as Octobrush. Anemones is splashing in some various comps here as well with Nut, and just various weapons are being played here, and both of these teams have been so neck and neck that it managed to get all the way up here to game 9 on Mako Mark Clams.
Man, I have beef with this map. I'm not even gonna like lie to y'all. Dude, listen, I'm kind of torn right now. We're on game 9. I'm excited for a game 9, especially between these 2 teams. They're fighting so hard for their first win in Ludi. But like, I'm a big Mako Mark Clams hater. This map feels so like awkward to play. I don't understand why. Maybe it's just the weapons I play, but this map feels kind of weird. It doesn't feel like splat zones on it. It doesn't feel like tower control, and I just don't understand. Maybe it's the positioning of the clan bastards. Who knows? Do you have a diagnosis, Neptune?
I have a diagnosis here. Okay, I like to call this the one team fight to clan blitz. The clan basket effect here. Okay, you lose one team fight. Oh wait, the basket's right there, right? Typically, like on the more traditional clan blitz maps, like say Museum or like Scorch, right? You have to first take the power position, which is like the spinner or the ramp first and foremost, right? And then there's a little bit extra of a stretch to get to the clan basket. And Mako Mart, that's not the case right here. It is literally just you just swim right off the one of the stacks right there into the basket right there. Just dunk any clams that you're holding at any time, as well as just to swim them down there. It is that pit area right underneath the clan basket right there is so easy to access that it is just one team fight away. Right, one mess up, one slip up, and just everything just gets funneled right into that clam basket there, Sig.
Yeah, it can definitely just be a really fast change of pace there. I think that's probably the part I like the least, as well as it just being a death pit right underneath the basket. Not very fun when you don't play super mobile weapons a lot of the time. But I think that these teams are probably going to be able to make it work, especially if you have a hammer, if you're Cattail, you know, you're playing the least mobile weapon, but you have such a good hammer for just, you know, getting in, and it can just block a few shots for you if you need to clutch up.
Yep, you get excited, folks. It's going to be game 9, down to the wire, do or die here. And we have a Sploosh-O-Matic online here. What? We love to see it here, Sig.
Oh my, okay, Sploosh is playing Sploosh. I don't think, what, are they going to be in the enemy spawn? They are.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm looking for the pick on the Marlowe. I'm just getting behind. That's really
awkward. My god.
Both teams end up going down here because of it. Just chaos ensues. That's a very delayed wipeout on the side of Lodge Blast, and it's just Tari left standing with 7 clams here. You know, if there's anybody you want left standing on enemies here after that, it's Tari with that amount of power clams.
Yeah, definitely. Sploosh going absolutely insane, creating just a gigantic distraction as well as leading their team in and just keeping an enemy in a state of constant awareness. Recognize there is a Sploosh behind them. They need to recognize what they want to do here. But hey, the basket's going to be wide open here for BB here, and slowly but surely, these members are going to try their best here to funnel these clams in. One couple. Wait. How many clams just got in there? 50 clams? What? 50? What happened, Sig?
Math. 20 points for the power clam. At least like 30 each clam is 3 points, so 10 clams. You got that fast, man. What happened?
What happened?
Six is gonna win the hammer duel against Sploosh here. Just trying to hold off as many people from left as possible, but they're gonna get shut down by Mojo and this tri-stringer from Cattail. Just really well done, but Tari is here, just holding strong with that 52 gal from Pink as well. In this top right on the right stacks. This is like one of the power positions that you really want to take if you're attacking the clam basket. And that's the other one. You want to be able to have some presence in this left side, make it difficult for BB to kind of drop here. But they end up getting the 2 picks that they need to and are able to turn this defense into some pretty solid offense until Tari just stands tall, finds 2. Sploosh ends up going down here, popping the Zuka. Let's go gambling, baby! You win one! Alrighty! You're looking for the 3rd from the spawn? No, not going to quite catch there. But with the rest of the enemies up, they're just, looking to try and answer back to what Blaha's Blast did only about 40 seconds before.
I don't know. I think I'm going to need a TI-84 to calculate the gambling odds of success here to get into this clam basket here, which is pretty high, I assume, because an enemy was able to break through getting these picks here, as well as looking for options and ways to funnel more clams into this basket right here. It just seems like the enemies are just going to be trying to be rats right here, but unfortunately get snubbed out by BB here. And this is what I'm talking about here. Say one team fight away to get right to that basket, as Almojo already gets a ball, but unfortunately misses.
No, not in game 9. Oh, that's so tough.
Wait!
What's got it? No! One shut down from, I believe that was Marlowe on the NZEP 85. Great stuff. Really unfortunate for BB there, honestly. That's kind of tough. Even though you already have lead, you want to extend that as much as possible and just keep an enemy shut down as often as possible, and you do that by scoring.
It might just be a blessing in disguise here, because think about it. See, if they managed to score that clam right there, they would have another power clam along with the pity that they had along as well to funnel it in and make it a little bit easier to break through right now. But hey, right now the basket is open. The lead is swapped right here. This is coming down to the wire right here as both these teams are trading pick for pick, tat for tat. Clans are still being funneled in here. BB needs a response to be able to do it, but no, unfortunately it's wiped out by the hammer. Oh my goodness, Sig.
6 is just popping off on this hammer. Really solid stuff from the Neo Luna Blaster. And that's a knockout? What?
What?
I was too focused on 6 to see the score going down. 6 was just drawing everybody in from BB, and enemies are gonna take the set and find their first win of the Ludi season.
Oh, and a disconnect at the end there. Oh, you hate to see it there.
Tough.
Just oh man, hey, it happens, just situations like that. But regardless, I just gotta talk a little bit about just what happened this game, right? I need to bust out the TI-84 because I clearly cannot do mental math right now, and just literally every single situation that has happened is just been clams just being funneled in so quickly and so fast that penalty just almost is non-existent, as well as just easy access to that clam basket just allows clams to be consistently scored here. We see it in this replay here. It's just single clams being funneled in there. Say there was no power clam there. That was just literally clams that Nogami spawned all the way there, and that just allowed them to finish the game right there and then.
Yeah, they were able to cycle those 3 pod clam spawns really well. We saw a bunch spawning in stacks in front of mid in that bottom kind of court basin area right beneath the ramp. They were able to just really cycle those out, get a good rotation going, and with the rest of the team able to keep Blaha Blast at bay, and then they were able to take back that lead and get the KO done with relative ease, I would say.
Yeah, it seemed relatively easy, but I imagine it couldn't have been easy getting all the way to this point here, and then just being able to just be matched up against a team that is having a Sploocious that's making you look 180 degrees around into your spawn here. You're looking left, you're looking right. Where's this Sploosh, right? You need to find some solution to be able to do something there, and it just seemed like an enemy's just locked in for that last couple of moments, got the picks they needed, got the wipeout, used those specials effectively, and just funneled every single plan that was coming up and right into that basket, knocking it all out.
Yeah, really well played. Congrats to an enemies for getting their first win of the Ludi season. They now move on to 1-3. Unfortunately, Blaha Blast are still going to be hunting for it in week 4, but I think they're going to have some pretty good opportunities. It seems like some of these matches in their Ludi group are tough, but they're just super doable, especially if this is kind of the name, kind of the whole song and dance for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, all the time. Oh my goodness.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Oh my god.
Steph, you're muted.
I might need to check in with my doctor here because these game 9s here. I've been just a little bit of context here. I had a game 9 on Ludi tonight. I saw a go to game 5 for grand finals for a CCA tournament as well, and then I see this and I'm just like, man, my heart is literally beating out of my chest right now. What can the doctor prescribe me to help calm me down here?
Everything I was saying was not meant for chat. That was just for Sig and Neptune. But listen, we have our next set actually waiting for us, folks. So you know what? Sig and Neptune, I appreciate you guys so much for coming on the mic with us today. But starting with you, Sig, if I were to open up an internet browser, me and my boomer self, open up an internet browser, where are you? Where can I find you?
So you can find me just about anywhere on like Twitter, Blue Sky, Twitch, YouTube, Discord, just about anything really that Splatoon community uses. At Sigdakara, you see it in the bottom right. I'm pointing the wrong way. It's right here. Yeah, right here. In the bottom right of my camera, just at Sigdokari, just like that. You should probably be able to find me just about anywhere on social media there. Neptune, where can everybody find you, man?
You can find me at Neptune. It's a 2 instead of a TU and an underscore at the end there. I'm both on Twitter and Twitch often. I am playing with the big fat sea cows. We're rocking it pretty hard at Ludi tonight here on several times here, and we're happy to perform not only just, us for our fans as well as just like the rest of the Splatoon community as well. So yeah, make sure to check out Big Fat Sea Cows and root for us and tune in when you can. But that's going to be it for me here. Saf, take it away.
Oh my gosh, we love Big Fat Sea Cows here. You don't understand.
Wait, you're a big fan? No way.
Big fan. Big Fat Sea Cows, big fat fan, let me just say. Okay, listen, folks. We still have so much action coming your way here. Up next, we have Sparkling Sea versus the Goober. It is Division 9A. Please don't go anywhere. We're going to take a brief break.
The Goober?
The Goober?
The Goofy Goober? The Goofy Goober?
But don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be there. We'll be back in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. Just a brief break. You are watching Ludi tonight on SplatoonTourney.
Oh my god.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for your patience. Welcome back from our brief break. You are watching Ludi tonight. Finally moving on to our second set of the evening. We have Sparkling Sea versus the Goobers. And I'm joined once again by Hammy and Dark. Hello, you guys. How's it going?
It's going all right. I'm excited to be here. I already had a bit of a run earlier today casting Booyah Ball for CCA earlier today, which I'm still like recovering a bit. My voice may be a bit raspy towards the end of it, but I'm gonna keep it going as best as I can. Happy, how about you?
I am doing excellent. I'm so happy to be here. I love watching these low-level matches. I'm really excited. A lot of people don't like to watch these like Div 9, Div 8, even like Div 10 matches, but I think they're the most exciting ones because you just don't know what to expect. So, really happy to be here.
Yeah, no, I think the lower divs have just as merit. It's just as much merit to watching them as like the higher divs, because the higher divs, you know, they're the top of the top. You know, you watch them to try and see exactly what's going on, what like good strategies, or just like a little bit of entertainment value. The lower divs, and this is to no like bash at any skill at the lower divs, right? The lower divs is just a wild graph of like what you are going to see, what's going to happen, what these teams are going to be pulling out. You cannot expect, like, there's no expectations, and that's what excites me the most.
Exactly, and there's no biases either. You don't know who to root for. Like, a lot of these teams aren't very well known. They might not use their Twitters as much or update their Sendo profiles. It's a complete grab bag. It could be a clean 5-0 sweep, like not even close. It could be the closest Game 9 we've ever seen. You're gonna see some weird weapons, some weird comps, and it's just fun to sit down at night and have a bunch of people all in the chat just rooting for different teams, and just it's a great experience. And I'm glad that we have a lot of people here watching tonight to see these Div 9A teams playing. We have the Goobers versus Sparkling Sea tonight. And Dark, do you know anything about these teams, or are these kind of the two of those teams that you don't really know much about?
The Goobers, I don't have any past experience with. Sparkling Sea, I've actually casted one of their games earlier this season, I believe, from Ludi. I can't remember if it was last week or the week before. I definitely casted one of Sparkling Seas. I'm gonna be honest though, I cast a lot of games, so a lot of the teams just kind of blur, so I don't know exactly right off the top of the head what they're gonna be pulling out. I just know the name, and I know that I casted them, and I know that I had a fun time last time, so I expect a fun time this time around too.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I was doing a little bit of digging these teams. Again, with some of these teams, you know, it's hard to find kind of histories of them. They're not very active. I know the Goobers, I was looking around and I couldn't see much recent results from them. But I do know that as of week 3, both of these teams have only seen sweeps. I believe the Goobers has done a 5-0 sweep over Mystic Jaguars. And then Sparkling Sea has lost 5-0 to Turn Left, but they have won 5-0 against Sweet Tomatoes, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that. But it's interesting to see, you know, both these teams have only experienced sweeps. And now we kind of get to see, will this match be close, or will this be another one of those 5-0 sweeps?
Most definitely. I, as a man of the people, as a man of the entertainment and the heart of the entertainer itself, I want us to go to a Game 9 to see exactly what these teams are fully capable of. And first off, we'll be going Scorch Clan Blitz. I know a map mode that everyone loves so much.
Yeah, this is definitely a very nice match to start off with. I am just very curious to see what they bring out. Clan Blitz is a very coordination-intensive mode where we're going to see a lot of teammates working together in order to get the objective pushed. So I'd like to see, you know, what they do with this, whether they go full aggressive comp, whether they're going to bring in a backline or an anchor, maybe they'll do something cheesy like a Kraken or a tent, and there's a lot of possibilities, and especially like we alluded to earlier in this low level, anything is possible. There are no limits as to what these teams might bring out.
As much as anything is possible, there are technically one thing to keep in mind here for this map specifically. It's the fact that the ramp control leading up to the power basket, that is the key zone to watch out for. If you have proper control over that ramp and a proper just hold as to like just keeping the enemies away, they're not going to be able to score on you no matter how much aggression they hold. If you just have proper control on the ramp, that's the thing these teams are going to be looking for. That's the thing that they're going to be trying to hold on to as best as they can, put their lives into it if they must.
Yeah, this is definitely a map where it's very tricky to kind of get in any other way but that main center ramp. Though there is, you have to always remember, there is that bridge. That's always a possibility. You know, maybe we're going to see a sneaky weapon. Maybe we're going to see some kind of a brush or someone who's very high movement speed, able to get across that bridge while the ramp is contested, and just while the other team is distracted and create a lot more chaos than, what might happen in that small little choke point.
And speaking of Brush I know is a weapon that gets played a lot in Clan Blitz, specifically the vanilla paint push and its alternate kit, simply because it can just stick to the ground, zoom all over the map, especially due to recent patches as well, giving it more power to do that exact game plan of just running around and just collecting clams, being annoying and a nuisance, and just disrupting that backlines as best as they can, as much as they can, and getting those power clams in whenever your back is turned.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than, just when the team starts piling in those power clamps, especially when they don't even know where they're coming from. Either you take a couple steps forward, you think you're safe, you stop the push, and then all of a sudden 20 more points down. And that's the kind of thing you might be seeing from these teams. It's the coordination between these teams might be a little bit weaker than what you see in the higher level. And like I said earlier, Clan Blitz is such a coordination intensive mode. You need to be working as a unit, and you need to have a strong plan. You need to be able to designate roles, be able to pass clams, pick up clams, get that economy efficient on your side. And it may be chaotic, it may be straightforward, and there's no way to know until we get into our game, which hopefully we should be soon as the teams are readying up.
I agree with that. As we're waiting a little bit longer, just to get a few passing conversation out here, Hammy, is there any specific weapons that you want to see, any specific specials, or just overall just kits that you want to see come out on this map mode specifically?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, I've always been a tent believer. I'm not a tent player personally, but I've always been a believer in the tent. I think that it has a lot of ability, and there's a lot of personality as well. I feel like all the tent players are very unique. And as we see the weapons coming in here, a lot of shooters coming out on both sides of the map. No backlines really. We have a lot of midline weapons, but yeah, this is very aggressive comps on both sides.
a tried and true Splatoon staple, going back to the Splatoon 2 days of running triple or even full shooter weapons. It's just by time to time, even in this new league, just anything goes kind of meta that we're still just trying to figure out just exactly what works best. And already both these teams are just fighting it out in mid, seeing exactly who's gonna get the first pick, who's gonna be getting the first edge over the other. And it seems that already 2 go down.
Yes, we have 2 down on the side of Sparkling Sea. The Goobers trying to take some mid control here, trying to get to these clams and get ready for potentially an early push. Though Sparkling Sea is coming back, and now Sparkling Sea does seem to control the map. A lot of the Goobers did back up, but now they are getting a bit more picks. This is very just kind of back and forth here in that mid zone as Sparkling Sea goes down 2 once again.
The Clan Blitz special of just constant back and forth in mid for the majority of the game. But once again, one just is trying to pull back, fuel away from the remainder of the team, as the Goobers are now the ones who have the first scored points on the board, getting down to 65 in a single push, which most might argue that's a very decent push already as your opener. But with Tritrix coming out to flush out the remaining members of the Goobers, it is now Sparkling Sea's turn to try and see how they can flip this disadvantage for them to an advantage.
Yeah, you see the Goobers there very smart in backing out once they realized they had no clams. They were losing that control of the base, and they managed to get out and not get picked up with a strike. So very smart not to overcommit to it. Able to pick off a couple members of Sparkling Sea and trying to take back mid control here. Potentially looking for a second push, though they're very low on clams here, so they don't want to overstep their bounds too much as they're kind of getting closer to their spawn. It's very easy for Sparkling Sea to get back and respawn. So we have a fight in the gate, and one goes down on the side of the Goobers. Sparkling Sea trying to take back this mid control. They don't want to get pushed back on their base because they don't want to start losing more points than they already have.
Just constant back and forth. These two teams are just playing a careful game right now, which I gotta commend for. In order to try and get some of these bigger leads, you actually do have to play sometimes slow and steady and make sure you have an absolute lead over. But sometimes you also just gotta go in there and make those plays, and you can't wait. You force the other enemies to make the mistakes on your terms, not on their terms, where they can easily recover it. And already Goobers are looking to try and see how they can force those mistakes, have to go out on Sparkling Seas. But one goes down, the trade back goes back for the 2 goes down with the Goobers. Sparkling Sea has the advantage right now, especially with the cooler online, and that's a wipeout!
Yeah, the Goobers unfortunately overstepping their bounds. You see 2 members go in for the flank on left and right sides. You'd think that would work out very well, but Sparkling Sea was able to turn around and manage to pick off the members one by one and pin them in that corner. Though they aren't able to break open the basket with that power clan. They go 2 down in the gate. One of the Goobers gets behind and manages to pick off the head. Kanai is able to just help, gets another member as well, is able to stop that push almost single-handedly with those last 2 members. And now the Goobers are rushing straight into the base of Sparkling Sea, hoping to maybe make another push here if they're able to pass up some clams to their shooter in the front, and they do break the basket.
a very strong defense by Goobers, just being able to deny that just disastrous wipeout from Sparkling Z in order to deny them from any points, and deny them any points they do. And not just that, they're able to convert that initial bounce back to an additional few points landed under their name. Penalty points now at 11 as opposed to the chunkier, I don't even remember the number off my head, as both teams now return back to neutral. But as I say that, 2 members go down for Sparkling Z. The Goobers are slowly encroaching on their enemies, pushing them out, getting specials online, and seeing exactly how many more points they can get away with.
Yeah, you look at the score here and see that the Goobers are clearly winning, but such a back and forth map. Each team taking the whole map to themselves, getting a couple picks, and it just swings back to the other side. The Goobers here might be able to make another potential push. That bubble's gone, but they're need to pass Clams, and no, the Sparkling Sea seems to be taking back their gate. And like I said, such a back and forth match where teams are just losing their footing left and right. People are going down on both sides. This is the kind of chaos you expect to see in these lower level matches, and it's so exciting, and this is great to watch here.
As we approach the final minute, Goobers are still trying to see exactly if they can get that one power clam into the basket. But it seems that Sparkling Sea are finally able to manage to flush out the remaining members of the Goobers, as they now have Killer Will. They have their own clam economy at the ready, and they're looking to see exactly who they can pick off first. But now the heavy headache goes down. Goobers are holding strong. 30 seconds remaining with triple strikes online and out at the ready. They're looking to try to see exactly what advantage can be made, as they're just constant back and forth trades.
Yes, if you're the Goobers here, you just want a turtle. You want to hold this half of the map. You don't even need to worry about pushing. All you have to do is keep your barrier shut for 10 more seconds, plus that short overtime. Oh, they tried to break anyway. They're trying to prevent the overtime. It may have backfired as they go 1 down, but they do get 2 down in Sparkling Sea. They are keeping up this aggression. They are not letting that mistake be a mistake. They are capitalizing on it, on the chaos, and just taking down 2 members of Sparkling Sea. As you can see now, Sparkling Sea is trying to save their power clam to keep the overtime going. The roller on the side of Goobers does get the trade, but the ball's still there. There's such little time left. They have to try to break. They do throw the ball back into their own side with no time left. But yes, that will be the match for the Goobers. Sparkling Sea, unfortunately, unable to make a push in the overtime, which is a very tall order. That was such a fast-paced match. There was no... Again, only one team really got any pushes on the side of the Goobers, but the map control was back and forth, the full 5 minutes. It could have been in anyone's game. One push could have done that entire match.
Most definitely. It goes to show as well that how integral that ramp control actually is, as both teams were able to just fully just deny like a good decent amount of chunks of pushes from both sides. The Goobers, even though the Goobers were the ones who were able to win just enough team fights to actually get a few points, like almost 60 points, I believe, if scoring was right in my mental notes from that last game, almost 60 points over Sparkling Z's 0. You know, they have the edge right now, but this is a best of 9, first to 5. So this first game, don't let the mental just wash straight through you. You know, just walk it off. You still have potentially 5 other games to still go through. We're heading into Tower Control Surgeon Shipyard. There's still plenty of opportunities to truly take things back into your own momentum.
Yeah, as you just said, this set is a best of 9. It's all about endurance, especially for these teams that may be newer to the scene. 9 games is a lot. It's like an hour of Splatoon. Your hands might get weak, your mental might get weak. You might start getting tilted if you lose a few matches. It's all about keeping that momentum and keep on pushing and try to get those wins. But yes, next we do go into Tower Control on Sturgeon Shipyard. This map can be very snowbally, so this will be very interesting. I know my team personally, we are not a fan of this map because the snowball usually is not in our favor. This map, it goes straight downhill. You got to try to hold that opening beginning. But we'll see how this goes. Both these teams did play very aggressive comps, so we're gonna have to see which team kind of takes control of that mid area first, is able to start that first push. That may be very important.
That first push is very important, but I will say something I do like to know about this map specifically is that first checkpoint is very early into the tower path, so it's not that difficult to actually get that first checkpoint knocked out. The key point of contention here is actually that second checkpoint. For whoever gets that second checkpoint knocked out first, more often than not, they're going to be the ones who maintain very good tempo control over the other team. They're going to be ones setting the fight, setting the standard to see exactly what the pace the enemy team is going to be setting. So whoever can hold on to that second checkpoint the longest and just deny that second checkpoint reach from the other, or yeah, second checkpoint reach first, that's going to be the one who's going to be truly at the disadvantage, because you need to make sure you don't let the enemies get that second checkpoint.
Yeah, and the big point there at that second checkpoint is your positioning. If you're on the defensive side, you don't want that team to get into your window. You don't want them to get up to your grates. There's a lot of positions where the offensive team is able to get in a position where you cannot get them out, at least not get them out comfortably. By the time you're able to kill them, they're probably going to KO you. So you really want to make sure to control your half, and yeah, like you said, that second checkpoint is a really big point that you want to, and that's the part of that snowballs. You don't want to let that team get that momentum to get to that point in the first place. You want to be the team with the momentum going down into their base.
And momentum is key, as we're going to see exactly how Sparkling Sea are going to try and recover from the initial just small snowball that the Goobers have built already in their first victory. As we see a few interesting weapons, both Luna Blaster, a Luna Blaster and a Wellspring Stringer.
Yeah, you can definitely see these teams making a lot of adjustments for tower control. They want to use weapons that are able to control this tower, able to control some space. I do kind of like seeing these weapons over here on the side of Sparkling Sea with that Wellspring in that Splatana. Those two weapons do go down. Commentator curse, as the Goobers able to take the first tower push here. They're pushing on the side, and 2 members down on the side of Sparkling Sea. They may have to give up this first checkpoint already, which is not what you want to see.
Most definitely, that first checkpoint early enough, but you still want to try to hold on to that as long as you can, not wanting to let that go down in the first minute of the game. But you know, no worries, it is what it is. But as I say that, a wipeout from Sparkling Sea. Goobers have full frontal advantage right now as they're marching to that second checkpoint. The very topic of debate we were talking about only just a few minutes earlier, they're already contesting that checkpoint as Sparkling Sea are struggling to recover, struggling to get the remaining members of Goobers out.
I don't know how Sunny is still alive. They were stuck in a corner with a hammer, fizzy bombs, and everything rushing at them. The Goobers are keeping a strong hold here in this choke area on the side of Sparkling Sea. Though they're doing a good job now pushing the Goobers out. Never mind, as they say that 2 members go down, the Goobers are still holding this choke point. The Wellspring on the side of Sparkling Sea trying to do all they can. The hammer is picked off right before they can activate it, and they're pushing to finish this checkpoint as the hammer, Goobers have 1 member left. Sunny goes down. That is a wipeout. Sparkling Sea does manage to save that checkpoint ever so barely, keeping them in this match, but that is a huge deficit to try to push back from. So we're gonna have to see how they push up here and how they react to how the Goobers start out of this match.
Most definitely, 26 points remaining off of what it was virtually a single push, you know? Even though that second checkpoint's still up, that means you yourself have to get to that second checkpoint. The Sparkling Sea has to be the ones to make sure that they clear enough space, get enough of an advantage so they can get to contest that second checkpoint. But 2 goes down. The Goobers are looking to move in and trying to collapse on the remaining members on mid and of Sparkling Sea as Try go out. I'm pretty sure I saw Tactical go online as well. That Luna Blaster gets taken out though, and both these teams are still just fighting it out in mid, trying to get as much of an advantage over the other as they can.
Yeah, the Goobers do go down 2 members here. Sparkling Sea seeming to win the fight, though. There is one. The T-Tech does jump out, so Sparkling Sea now has mid control. As I see, they want to make a push of their own. So we're going to have to see how they kind of push this first checkpoint, because this is very important. This is the first step of 2. A successful fight for Sparkling Sea in the base of the Goobers, as they're just trying to now spawn camp them. And this is their reaction. Instead of fighting that choke point, they're taking the fight to home. They're going straight in, and they're already marching towards that second checkpoint, as we see Sparkling Sea, all 4 members up in a great position here.
They have V-Shots absolutely tearing Goobers apart with a wipeout as well on the second checkpoint. I don't want to call it early right now, but I think that's going to be it for this game. But 2 go down! 2 go down! That is not what you want to see!
The Goobers are fighting tooth and nail. They understand fully how this snowball works, as they're the ones who did it first. They unfortunately have to now essentially KO to win, but they are still in this match, and it is anyone's game. As much as it's weird to say it, it could be anyone's game.
But one thing to point out is that second checkpoint is still up for the Goobers. They still have to have that Star sit there for a good couple of seconds, which means that's a good couple of seconds where Sparkling Sea has the tools and capability to try and halt that push, as they're slowly approaching that fabled second checkpoint. 1 goes down for each side of this team. There's a few specials online as Zuka goes out to try and get a pick, but no, 2 players are down for the Goobers. Sparkling Sea has the advantage right now as they're looking to try and see exactly if they can clean up the remainder of this fight and shut down the rest of this push.
the Goobers, unfortunately, getting very staggered. They keep walking in one by one. They do manage to get a couple of important picks, but it's still not enough as Sparkling Sea does start to take back mid control. Goobers right now, if you're the Goobers right now, you really want to start working together as a team. You got to get those important picks off so you have numbers, and you got to just do what Sparkling Sea to do and just walk into their base and lock them out if you want to get that second checkpoint.
And as I mentioned earlier, as we were talking about the match preview here, because Sparkling Sea has that second checkpoint knocked out, that means they're the ones who have a good amount of tempo control here. They can play it aggressively. They can try and stall it out. They have a lot of options to them as they head to the final 30 seconds of this match. But as I say that, 3 are down for the Goobers. Sparkling Sea are potentially can either hold this or try and push this tower as far as they can to the Goobers side and make sure that they have an even longer path to take this tower back to 26 points contested.
Yes, the Goobers here fighting in their own base. This is not the position you want to be in because you have 5 seconds now to touch the tower to start that overtime. And the Sparkling Sea they're holding on to that tower as long as again. No, the flank from the Goobers, it didn't count. It didn't touch the tower in time according to Nintendo's servers. So unfortunately for the Goobers, that match goes to Sparkling Sea, making this set 1-1. That was such a close match. Goobers still had that checkpoint to get through, but both teams had a very successful push. Just Sparkling Sea taking that one step ahead, getting straight into the spawn of the Goobers, not letting them out, and managing to turtle up in that mid and not letting the Goobers get another attempt to even push again.
These teams now sitting at 1-1. Not a sweep from either side, so they will be trying to play this out as best as they can. These teams we're seeing right now, as Sparkling Sea got that almost knockout, which I don't even know what got the 2 of the members. I think that was a splat bomb I'm pretty sure that had to have been a splat bomb that managed to stop that push. But unfortunately for the Goobers, that stop just wasn't enough for victory for them.
Yeah, those are the splat bombs you want to see when you're throwing those out. You want to see it get a double kill in the tower, save your team, keep you in the match. Again, unfortunately, they weren't able to take the set, but being able to, that's the first step, is not getting knocked out. Making sure you fight tooth and nail to stay in the game, that is the first step to getting those comebacks towards the end of the match. Very, very great set. Like I said, and already we've broken the curse. Both of these teams have only seen 5-0 sweeps, either in their favor or not in their favor this whole Ludi season. This is the first time either of these teams, as far as I can see, this is the first set that these teams have seen where it's not a 5-0 sweep.
And as we're getting ready for this next match, we're heading to Undertow Spillway with Rainmaker. Undertow, a very polarizing map, I want to be completely honest. But I think for the most part, a lot of people don't like this map, but I think it could be interesting. Even though I don't like it either, it's a map.
This is one of the maps that my team can agree on that we all like. It's I don't know, like, there's something about it. It's just, there's nothing like totally infuriating about the map. It's straightforward. I think that there's a lot of options here. A lot of weapons work here. I think that this is just a map that boils down to how well is your team going to coordinate your push and how well is your team going to play this Rainmaker.
Yeah.
So I will say Zuka's very important here. I find that teams that run multiple Zuka weapons usually have a bit of advantage here. So we're going to maybe see some potential adjustments to these teams that want to run those Zukas. I think we've seen a Zuka on each side, like one per team. So we'll see if maybe they bring in a second one. Maybe they have their own plans. Like we've said, anything can happen in Div 9. Maybe they've been cooking up their own thing. Maybe we'll see something weird.
I don't know. It's hard to tell exactly. I'm pretty sure both teams had a Zuka at least in some capacity. So I will go off of you and say that I think Zuka might actually be the key to victory here if what you say is true and Zuka really is a key weapon here. The thing to keep note though is that there are 2 pathways, which a lot of people like often to go to the left pathway and ignore the right with the inkless wrap. But that ramp is still kind of important to keep in mind, you know, because that's where that route is where the plays can be made, where you can actively try and steal the any leads that the enemies might have by just quickly running up that ramp and boom, you're at 20 points remaining. It's something that I think, even though it's gonna be rolled out as an option for most teams, you just can't forget about it.
Yeah, and now we see here we are loading into the match finally. We're going to see what these teams kind of brought out. On the side of Sparkling Sea, we see the custom range blaster coming out. Okay, never mind. Ignore the Zuka. They do have the Zuka, but they're going for the Kraken play here. Both sides also bringing out a Wellstring. Very interesting. I guess I guess the Goobers saw the use of the Sparkling Sea's Wellstring for last game. They wanted to bring out one of their own.
I'll say as well from from time during the CCA earlier today that we also saw a Wellspring there that did very well. So I'm actually not surprised to actually see it get more played now here at Ludi tonight, because I think it's a weapon that might be a little bit overlooked, as well as like the new katanas. But already both these teams are just slowly trying to poke each other out, see exactly how this game of neutral is going to go and what favor. Both these teams ended up getting a one trade, even though it was delayed. Both teams did get one pick back on both sides, and it's just a waiting game right now to see who's going to make the first mistake.
Yeah, we see a lot of poking back and forth here. The Wellstring shooting shots over. We see a couple Zukas coming out. No major decisive picks here. We do see a couple of trades, but nothing that's really shifting the tides of battle here, as the Rainmaker has popped, but yet to be touched. We do see that the map is very in favor of Sparkling Sea in terms of paint, but that can change very quickly with these fairly paint-heavy comps, or at least on the side of the Goobers.
Very good attempt to play those Tri-Strikes to try and flesh out whoever they can off of the Goober's side, but Sparkling Sea didn't quite find their mark, and one is down already. The Rollers looking now to try and make a play to see exactly what plays they can make to try and crack open Sparkling Sea wide open, and with Bubble online, they're looking to try and potentially fake out the right route, but with the Kraken in mid, it's just going to scramble things up and just stop that push right then and there.
Yeah, Kraken is a very useful tool here for Sparkling Sea, as you can't be killed during it, so it doesn't matter how many teammates are dead, you can probably stop that Rainmaker if you have good enough positioning. So the Goobers are going to be very cautious about that Kraken and where it's positioned if they want to be able to make a good push here. Though they do still have a good footing. They do go down a couple members though, so I believe Sparkling Sea will start to move this Rainmaker and see if they can make a push of their own. The Goobers not getting very much value out of their first push, but at least something was made. At least it's not a stalemate. Sometimes you want to just break that stalemate and get the match kind of moving a bit.
And with the player reset leading into a 2-down scenario for the Goobers, Sparkling Sea are looking to try and make this breakaway to the left half now that they have a good staggered man advantage. That Rainmaker getting dunked on the left side. Already first checkpoint down for Sparkling Sea, and they're looking to push this momentum to go even further as they're picking it up once again to another 2 players down for the Goobers. They're just looking to try and see how far they can take this push, but no! 3 go down for Sparkling Sea!
Like I said, those Zukas are very important here. That Zuka taking down the Rainmaker, shutting down the push. Now there's only 1 member left on Sparkling Sea, and they're taken down. That is a delayed wipe. There are 3 back now in Sparkling Sea, but they're going to have to run into the middle of the map and try to meet the Goobers at the midpoint, and we'll see how they try to react to this push. Though getting that checkpoint is very big. The Goobers have to make a checkpoint, so this is in Sparkling Sea's favor. Now their main objective with 2 minutes left is to try to prevent that checkpoint and to give them a large safety net for a free win.
But as 3 players go down, the Goobers are looking to try and actively take that second checkpoint that first checkpoint right back, and that they do with the Rainmaker dunk on the left side. They're looking now to see exactly how they want to be the ones to play this left route. 2 go down, 3 go down for the Goobers, and just like that, they are wiped out!
A huge flank on the side of Sparkling Sea, cutting off the escape route for both members of the Goobers, and the Pop taking out the last member. Sparkling Sea is now hoping to make a push, but they do get picked off on the side, on the zone. The shooter walking straight through, getting around, killing the Hammer as well. The Range Blaster is the last one alive on the side of Sparkling Sea. They're stuck in the corner. They do jump out back to their base, and back and forth. We're stuck back in this midpoint here. Both teams to try to make a good push straight through. No checkpoints left. This is just pure Rainmaker and whoever can make a further push with a minute left in the match.
1 minute remaining. Tri-Strikes go out to see exactly how they can scatter the Goobers. Sparkling Sea trying to see exactly who's going to be the first fall, and they fall first. That splash going down almost immediately by the Hammer. Path is getting cleared up. Mid is just being slowly overtaken, but the Kraken is looking to try and see exactly how they can slow down this push even for a little bit. And 2 go down to the Kraken with a 1 trade back from Sparkling Sea. They're going to try and reset back to neutral as we have the final 30 seconds.
Yes, that Kraken playing a very important role here, stopping the Goobers from getting a good push with 30 seconds left. Sparkling Sea is in the lead. Not by much, but that's the important part, is they're still in the lead regardless. They have to try to prevent a push here with nearly 15 seconds left in the match. You kind of want to see a special getting ready potentially. You want this blaster to stay alive, maybe getting a Kraken ready. A lot of trades going back and forth in the middle, people jumping in, rapid fire movement. Everyone's just trying to make something happen here with 5 seconds left. The Goobers want to try to start an overtime. They do grab the Rainmaker. No, they go down. They go to the blaster. The blaster was positioned perfectly. And this side of Sparkling Sea does manage to clutch out this game, going 2-1 over the Goobers so far in this set.
These games have been neck and neck. It's so hard to tell which way it's gonna go so early, like throughout the majority of the match. These teams have done a phenomenal job of playing the mid, playing the neutral, getting those trades, going on the offensive, standing strong, and just not letting anyone pass them. It's so hard to tell. And honestly, if you told me in an alternate reality, Goobers ran away with that and managed to get that lead taken from them, or take it by the Sparkling Sea with just by 1 point, I would have believed you. It's so hard to say exactly who could actually come up on top until the last second.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see here in these matches. You want to see these clean matches. I mean, maybe I'm a bit greedy, but I like these close matches. I like seeing these go to game 9. I like seeing these teams have to fight tooth and nail to prove themselves. And that's Saf does not want to be here for game 9, but like I said, I'm greedy. Streaming takes so long. Again, shout out to Saf for doing the production. I've done it a lot before. It's tedious and long and can be very tiring. You're here for a long time. Very underappreciated. So again, thank you, Saf, for putting on a great show for us tonight, as well as these two teams, again, giving us a great show here. Sparkling Sea 2-1 over the Goobers currently, as we're going into our next match, hopefully soon. But yeah, these are good matches so far, and I can't wait to see what they bring up next here on Zones Umami.
Zones Umami. I genuinely don't know where people stand on this map. I personally like this map. I think the split zones is in mid makes it such a fun game of trying to outpaint one another, because once you flip one zone, the other gets flipped, so everyone goes on to contest the other flip, and it's just a constant back and forth of trying to see who can hold on to those zones for at least a little bit. And it's so hard. I want to say that middle map platform in between the two zones is important to control, but because there's a middle ramp in the middle, a middle platform in the middle zones, you can just go around.
Yeah, this map is interesting because it's very important to control that top middle point, because even the frontliners can see and reach so much from there because it's such a small area in that middle. And the important thing you're going to want to do with your comps here is learn how to delegate positions. You know, you want to control that left side, you want to control the right side, you want to control the top middle, you want to control your own hills, there's the pits. There's a lot of different positions in this map, and it's this map mode specifically is very important for coordination, to be able to hold all these separate positions without leaving any flanks open, because there's a lot of room to move around here. There's rails that ring you around the side of the map. You can drop off of your hill, off of your grates. There's so much room. You wouldn't expect there to be a lot of room here, but there is a lot of room just in how the map shape ends up working out. So I'd like to see these teams kind of delegate those positions very well and not leave themselves open for disaster.
Yeah, no, I think you're right on that. There is a lot more room than what people just initially assume this map will give, you know? Like, right out the gate, you can just drop down on the left side to the ditch and just approach from there, and from that ramp leading up to mid, you're already at the contention of potentially the left zone, depending on your orientation anyways. So there's just a lot of like just funny ways that you can actively contest mid that I think a lot of people forget about, and abusing those funny ways to get to mid might be the key here, as we see the one of the new Splatooners that I think is also underrated.
Yeah, there is that new Splatana, though. I'm looking at this Inkbrush Nouveau on the side of the Goobers here. Very interesting, as they're already behind Splatana. They're doing what pushes too fast as they walk in, get a pick, and run away. Oh, this This is what I love to see in this low-level people playing these non-meta weapons, though they do go down on one of the zones. But the Goobers are able to take a good footing here, maybe potentially taking the first cap as they do, and they're hopefully going to take a good footing here to try to push Sparkling Sea out of the zone.
I don't think I've seen a faster backline infiltration in my entire time, not just casting this game, but just playing this game. That brush went in the backlines first, and I gotta commend it to them, as that was actually potentially the thing to open them up, and they're putting in the work. Hammer's just going out there, getting another pick. They're just causing chaos, and chaos is needed here.
Ink brushes don't give you time. As you were explaining how they made a fast push behind the backliner, on screen they were doing it a second time. Ink brush was my first 5-star weapon. It's so fast, it's so fun, and it's a rat. That's the only way you can. As a 5-star Ink brush main player, I will tell you it is a rat weapon. You are running in behind them. You are being quick. You are being devious, and that is what the Goobers are trying to do right now. They are down one game in the set. They want to get in quick. They want to get in hard, and they are not giving Sparkling Sea time to think or react or even play the game. As this Ink Brush once again takes out another player, they are running around back and forth here with the hammer. The hammer is a very important tool here, that they're just pushing around Sparkling Sea and making a lot of commotion. Kenai is doing a lot of work here on the side of the Goobers to just push Sparkling Sea away.
Goobers are absolutely taking advantage of that hit and run strategy. Even if the Ink Brush can actually get the pick, enough attention gets pulled by Sparkling Sea to that brush that the Goobers are able to just go in and clean up those fights and get those early picks, which got them a 42-point remaining lead off of that initial hold, and 2 down for each side. It's just these players are doing their best to try and maintain control in their own way, in their own advantage.
Yeah, the important thing right here for Sparkling Sea is now you need to be paranoid. You need to look over your shoulder constantly. You need a designated player to be on Ink Brush duty. You need somebody who their entire goal of this game is to look for that brush and not let them around you. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier with Umami Zones. There's a lot of positions to get around, a lot of ways to move in and around and about your enemies. And the Ink Brush is taking full advantage of that. So Sparkling Sea needs to react to this during this match, understand it, and not let it happen again.
I gotta say it, and I think this might be a bit controversial here, but I'm gonna go out and say this live in front of I don't know how many, but I love Splatoon. Like, I love Splatoon. It's stuff like this that you don't get anywhere else. Like, already, the frontliner is infiltrating the backline, but they're trying to see you through all that chaos. They're holding strong, and they're actually adjusting. 3 down for the Goobers. Things are starting to turn around a bit more for them. And there's a Ink Shot getting popped in front of this Platonic Decapitator.
Yes, as you said, loving Splatoon can be a very controversial opinion here, as we've heard from many players in the scene, but it's just how the game is. And that's why I love these lower level matches, because you never know what's going to happen. As you can see, Kenai continuing to do damage on this brush, actually causing a distraction for the end tap on the side of the Goobers to walk in and get a double kill. David now giving Soda and giving jumps for the teammate as they try to solo cap these zones, as the scores are very even, but both teams have those penalties, so there's a lot of time before each team can kind of make a better push here.
I will say, I think the one disadvantage to the hit and run by that brush is once you actually get it solved and are actively like adapting to it, its effectiveness goes down dramatically, as we see already. You mentioned that the scores were already tied from what was initially a very strong holding from the Goobers within the first 3 minutes of this game, but now they finally have control of the map. But 3 down, potentially a delayed wipe, as Sparkling Sea are rushing in to try and flush out their last remaining brush, but they get 2 in return.
Yeah, you have to respect that hammer. As Kenai gets a triple kill to get the Goobers back into the zone here, you have to be careful when you have those rat weapons with the special ready. You may have 4 people up, but you can never feel too comfortable, especially with a very quick weapon like a brush or a sploosh, where as just a lot of damage coming out here from the Goobers. They're about to start counting down. They are already in the lead, and there's 5 seconds left in this match. The Sparkling Sea needs to cap the zones, or at least make it neutral start in overtime, but they are unable to get to the zones, and the Goobers are able to tie up this set 2-2. My goodness.
This is a best of 9, first to 5. We're sitting at 2-2 already. If things were going according to plan, the third match of the night should have already started 6 minutes ago. But we're not there. We're still here, sitting 4 matches into a best of 9. These teams are just back and forth. Once you think one has the advantage, the other is able to take that advantage and instantly turn it to their own advantage. But it's just utter chaos, and that is why I love Splatoon.
Yes, Saf probably drinking her 5th cup of coffee for the night, as we are going to be in for a long one, as you say. We are already very, very behind schedule, and Sparkling Sea and Goobers are making sure it stays that way as they continue to go back and forth trading out scores.
This always happens when I broadcast. Things go behind schedule, and I'm like, yo, I'm trying, okay?
You know what?
Yeah.
How about we make Looney history right now and get 3 game 9s in a row? I want to let's make that happen. Like, come on, whoever's next in line, you need to get that done.
This is then followed by Saf's retirement post on Twitter.
Special announcement. No, I'm so excited to announce that I'm giving up.
Halfway through the stream, I become the streamer.
Yeah, I don't know. we must scramble and just try and figure out a way to pull out this match once Saf retires, but hopefully we'll see if that's actually a possibility as we move on to Museum Dolls Foncina with Clan Blitz. It's still anyone's game.
Yeah, like I said, the set's tied up, and it's that point where, everything up to this point doesn't matter. The only thing that these teams are bringing forward is that momentum. That they've now learned how each other's play. Like, after 4 matches, you started to see what comps they run. You started to see what kind of play styles they have. And now this is the point where you get those mind games. You got to start thinking about how they're going to play and react to it. You have to understand your team's strengths and understand their strengths and kind of figure out what you're going to do going forward, as we still have a potential 5 more matches to go. Each team needs to win 3 more games in order to take the set.
And I will say, with this being Clan Blitz, it would not surprise me in the slightest if we see that brush come back. And as I say that brush makes its grand round 2 appearance as we head into this game 5.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, as Kanai comes out with this person already pushing it. Managing to get picked off again. As you can tell from Dark, he is very excited as they do manage to get picked off. Sparkling Sea getting 3 members down on the Goobers. Sparkling Sea is, like I said, it's all about reacting. They have learned how this brush works. They are focused. They do not want this brush to run this game. They are trying to prove to us that the last game was a fluke and that they are here to win.
Being silly is a major strength in and of itself, right? Because you can use that to just utterly confuse your opponents, utterly disorientate your opponents. But the thing with that is that you gotta know when is the right time to be silly and when is the right time to lock in. As right now, Sparkling Sea actually has majority control over mid. They have decent clan economy, and they're slowly approaching just the spinning platform. You gotta ask, can we get away with being silly right now, or do we have to absolutely lock in?
Yeah, Sparkling Sea here, they are fully locked in. They are ready to play this game. They are trying to hold out this mid area, though they do go down 2 members to a few specials from Goobers as Goobers try to take mid control. But Mathwiz on that head is able to stop that NSAP from pushing in and is able to try to hold out the space as they are now just a 2v2 fight here in the middle, and they're just trying to... Both teams are clamoring here to see who can kind of hold this map control and who is going to be the first one to score.
Right now, we are witnessing the Clan Blitz special of just a stalemate. 1.5 minutes in already. No points scored. No major advantage gained. Both of these teams are getting trade after trade after trade. And you think with Sparkling Sea being 2 down, Goobers would be going in to try and make that advantage into their own. But no, they get shut down immediately. As now Goobers have to be the ones on the back pedal as 3 go down.
Yeah, you have to be very careful here because Clan Blitz has no checkpoints, no time-based points. There's no time-based points. It's all up to just how fast you can score, how many clans you can hold. Sparkling Sea here only has a power clam plus 1 normal clam, and they do go 3 down in the plat. They're unable to make this push happen as they get wiped out. Now the Goobers are pushing in with this ink brush. They're running straight for the basket. They're going to try to score here, but all of Sparkling Sea is back. Can they sneak through and get this break if they make a power clam? No, they do back up. They are deciding to play it safe. They want to get their full team in there and make this a proper push. You don't want to just get one power clam in. You want to get the whole KO in one fell swoop.
Out of nowhere, the brush comes in from the shadows, takes out Sparkling Sea's push, and they keep going. They're still going with the power clam. Their last remaining member finally knocked out. They have 2 power clams at the ready, and they're looking to try and get this scored, but they missed the power pass.
No,
I'm sorry. They did it. They got it in. Oh my god, my heart can't take this.
Yeah, the geometry does manage to match up, and it touches the basket, only getting 80 points, which it's a lead, but you have to be careful because that you've now given the other team a pity claim. You've now given them a free power claim to push on you later. So it's a bit of give, a bit of take. It could be a double-edged sword. But we do see 2 down the side of the Goobers, 1 down the side of Sparkling Sea. A lot of just kind of back and forth again in this middle. These teams are very, very close in their team fights, and there's never really a clear winner a lot of the time. So it's hard to make one of those big, important pushes to win you the game.
There is so much going on. These teams are constantly getting these trades, constantly losing these pushes. It's just non-stop chaos. Sparkling Sea had the advantage there. They ended up losing the advantage to Goobers, to what I can only assume at this point was due to the brush. And now the Goobers are pushing up mid, pushing up to the spinner. With the hammer out, another 2 players go down. But just like that, 3 goes down for the Goobers. What is going on?
Like I've been saying, these teams, there's no decisive fight. These teams are constantly just, the fights are trading back and forth. You never know who's going to win it. Both teams are unable to make a strong footing as it's just a very clear back and forth. Though the brush running in on the side of the Goobers, they're trying to give a jump for their teammates to break the basket. They do manage to jump in. Can they break the basket? And they do, though this isn't going to be a very productive push potentially as there's 2 down on the side of the Goobers. The T-Tech here is trying to fight to get in a couple of clams.
Oh,
no, the Zook! Oh, and the Zuka coming in support from the Goobers is unable to do much as the basket closes again, though the Goobers still in the lead, just making a slightly better lead. Now the side of Sparkling Sea do need to get a few more points.
Oh, that very important for Sparkling Sea. That brush is out of the game for the next few seconds. As we head into the final 10 seconds of this game, we're going to be heading into overtime as we're going to see exactly how Sparkling Sea wants to try and take this game by any means necessary. Both teams are fighting out mid. Specials are going online. It's constant back and forth trades. I don't even know how many players are up right now as these teams are constantly getting these back and forth trades. The power clam is on the ground, but it gets picked up. The pressure is trying to go in and intercept it. And they do manage to get 1. They get 2. They get 3. And potentially a 4th. That's a wipeout. The Goobers take this whole game home.
Come on, take the drip pick. Oh, they didn't group up for a drip pick. That's unfortunate. But yes, the Goobers able to take this match. I've never seen both teams staggering each other at the same time. Like, both teams were super jumping at each other and dying 1 by 1. Nobody living. They constantly were trading in the middle. Both teams staggered. No one could do anything. But the Goobers suddenly getting a footing and repeatedly killing super jump after super jump for 20 straight seconds, able to get the wipeout to win them that game. The Goobers now up 3-2 in the series.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and everyone else at home, if you have anyone who's even remotely interested in Splatoon, just trying to want to try the game out or into the competitive scene, whatever it is that you have that they have in mind, right? They want to know, what is the game like? What do you do with this game? Please show them this match. This game has everything you need to know about this game. It's the piece of resistance, man. Like, you cannot get more Splatoon than this.
And need I remind you, this is what we consider in the competitive scene the low level. This is supposed to be the not interesting stuff, which there's nothing in this scene that isn't interesting. Everything here is there's so much going on here. Like, whether it's a sweep, whether it's a close game 9, there's always so much action. There's so much going on the screen, so chaotic, so much to talk about. Just it's amazing. It's so fun to watch, and it's amazing that we get to be a part of this. It's amazing that the Goobers, Sparkling Sea are giving us a great show tonight. There's so many people here to watch them and just root for these 2 teams just duking it out back and forth.
Well, once again, need I remind chat about my controversial opinion that I love Splatoon, and we would be heading over to Tower Control Hagglefish, which many consider Hagglefish Market to be the best, one of the best Splatoon has to offer. And with that being said and done, I can only imagine what's going to happen on this map mode for these teams.
Yes, Tower Control Haggle, not as classic as Haggle Zones, but it is a very close second to that. It's a very interesting map because there's a lot of places to stand with that tent for the ability of a backline. Though both these teams not running very many backlines. We have been seeing the occasional pencil on the side of Sparkling Sea, but they usually have been opting for these very aggressive comps. So it's interesting to see how they're going to kind of play this out. Because if we think back to that Sturgeon Zones game, or Sturgeon Towers, both teams did play very aggressive comps. They're bringing up the Well Strings, the Blasters, the Splatanas, and they wanted to focus on contesting the tower rather than contesting their space.
And I will say as well, this match is somewhat important, for this will be determined whether or not Goobers can break the 2-game-in-a-row streak previously instated by the past 4 games. So it's up to Sparkling Sea to try, if they truly want to take this to game 9, Sap Sealing's not pending, they gotta make sure they can win this game out and get the next 2 games so they can even think about getting this to a game 9. Down to what? You're down
Stop
1
it.
game against the Goobers. It's not that big of a deal when all things is considered. You've done crazy things already so far. So taking on this game, getting this game, and potentially the next one, it should be easy money. It could be good. Do us all a favor. Entertain us. Bring us to a game 9. I beg you.
And here we are seeing very similar comps to the last time they played Tower, though the side of the Goobers opting out of using their blaster, instead going for 3 shooters and a roller. Both these teams playing very aggressive comps, as I predicted, and they're just going to try to fight for this tower here. As you see, 1 already going down for the side of Sparkling Sea. The Goobers potentially controlling this fight, as 2 go on the right flank, though not getting much value out of it, and now they go 1 member down. Again, both of these teams love to go back and forth in this mid zone, not really give up any space, and just, neither team really gets much of an advantage out of the fights. As 3 are now fighting on this far lane here, a lot of a flank coming in for Sparkling Sea, getting 1. Only getting 1 though as Kanai stops it, and now 2 are down as part of the Sparkling Sea. There's so much going on. Both teams are losing members left and right.
It's only this game where fighting away from the objective can have its own merits, because you bring constant distractions and mayhem, and it's just utter chaos as these games have been so far. 2 go down for the Goobers. Sparkling Sea is finally the one at the advantage right now, but just as I say that, it is another 2 down for Sparkling Sea. The Goobers down 3. It's just, they're already at the first checkpoint. What I don't even have time to talk about is that the main point of contention here is that second checkpoint. If you can actually hold a stronghold over that second checkpoint, you're sitting pretty, but they're already at that second checkpoint.
Yeah, the Goobers, I don't think they were ready, because Sparkling Sea did have a jump on the tower, and it seemed to be completely uncontested as they got their entire team back in and a few members went down. The Goobers now locked into their base as Sparkling Sea gets the first 2 checkpoints, and this last checkpoint is not much of a checkpoint. It's right next to the goal. It's right on your spawn. It gives you no room to breathe, though the Goobers do manage to take off all the members of Sparkling Sea, except for 1, but they do run away. So the Goobers getting back to mid, maybe overextending a little bit as the roller does go down, and they just have to try to bring this back, and they've lost the 2 most important checkpoints with only less than 2 minutes in the game, so they really need to get a good push here if they want to stay in this match.
A very strong opening from Sparkling Sea. The Goobers now having to be the ones to try and make this game work. Force Sparkling Sea's hand as much as they can so they can be the ones to gain the advantage. But it just doesn't seem to go that way as 2 goes down for the Goobers. Sparkling Sea now once again on the offensive, trying to push this tower as best they can. But no, 2 goes down from the flanking roller of all things. A 3 finally down. A delayed one, but no, it's still good, man. Manages to catch a few remaining members of the Goobers.
Yeah, the shooter on the side of Sparkling Sea decides to come back with a double kill of their own, and just, again, these teams are so even. One team gets a double kill, so does the other team. There's no clear winner in these fights. These teams are completely neck and neck in everything they've been doing so far in this entire set. So it's pure chaos. You see members of Goobers running in circles around the members of Sparkling Sea, getting 2 of them down with the hammer just causes some distractions. The Goobers still keeping a good footing here. They're running for the tower here. I'm not sure if they see that 1 member sharking into Sparkling Sea on this block. This may be a little bit surprising surprise for them as they pop up here any second now. And they do not get any value. They get collapsed on. Unfortunately, the sword being a bit too cocky here as 2 members on the side of Sparkling Sea go down, but now 2 members of the Goobers go down. There's never a clear winner in these fights. They're always so even in everything.
And all this chaos, I didn't even forget that Goobers even have the tacticooler. That's how often these trades are going. That's how neck and neck these fights have been. It's so hard to tell exactly what tools these teams actually have in their disposal for once a fight breaks out. Not only does it end almost immediately, it gets traded back almost immediately. 3 go down with this Sparkling Sea. It's now Goobers' time to finally try and contest that first checkpoint yet again. But for all we know, Sparkling Sea could get just a wipeout off of 1 Zuka right here, right now.
The fight's not even happening at the tower. The fight's in the other half of the map. These teams are trying to get some kind of footing in picks, and they're unable to, and I think they're aware of it now because they're just focusing on the fight rather than the objective. Though, unfortunately for the Goobers, they need to focus this objective. They need to kind of push in because they still have 1 whole checkpoint to get through if they want to take a win. As 2 go down on both sides, yet again, the Goobers are now pushing through with the tower. They're getting a Zuka shot off, and they almost get a pick, though they do make a slight misstep. They're slowly making their way towards this checkpoint with 35 seconds left in the match. It still could be anyone's game. This is going to be a very important push for see.
One thing to note right now as we head into the final 30 seconds of this game is that the Goobers still have that second checkpoint to get through. They need to make sure they can actually, I'm sorry, Sparkling Sea needs to make sure they can hold that second checkpoint for as long as they can, because that tower needs to sit there for a good solid few seconds so they can use that as best they can. But in that conversation of analysis, 2 goes down for the Goobers. Sparkling Sea are already at mid, already flushing out their many members of the Goobers, and another 2 goes down. I think this is a good as well set and game, set and match right here, as Sparkling Sea takes this game number, what, 6, right? Yeah, 6.
Yeah, the roller on the side of the Goober, a valiant effort trying to... Saf unhappy that this set is still going, but yes, the roller on the side of the Goober trying their hardest to make it through the entirety team of Sparkling Sea to start that overtime, but unfortunately unable to make it as it is just a 1v4. These teams are very close in their fights, but we're still at that point where you're not going to win a 1v4. You've got to work with your team, but when your team is down and you're out of time, there's only so much you can do. Those desperation plays are very important.
Oh my, these teams, it is true chaos to just witness a fight break out, get done almost instantly, a trade back get done from out of left field, followed by another 2 picks from the original team. It's so hard to keep track of what's all going on. It's so hard to just keep in mind what these tools these players have, because once they actually get them, they just use them and either win the fights or just crumble to the ground immediately. There's no clear determined way to figure out who's actually going to be on top for these skirmishes. As we move on to Rainmaker Robo Ramen, I just want to say, get this out of the way, a very just like flank heavy map.
Yeah, Rainmaker Robo Ramen is, especially, this map isn't very often seen in competitive pools. So we're going to kind of see these 2 teams might not be as familiar with this map. So it'll be very interesting as to how they play it. You know, maybe one team might have more experience. That could be the deciding factor here if one of them utilizes those flanks, if they understand the best route for the Rainmaker, and just being able to... These teams, as we've seen and as we talked about, are so close in terms of team fights. So they need to look for other external ways to win the match through strategy, through positioning, and through just general understanding of the maps and modes they're playing on.
I'm going to be completely honest. In the time that I've casted this game, I don't think I've ever casted a Robo Ramen Rainmaker game ever. I don't know how many checkpoints there are. I don't know if it's a single checkpoint.
There are 2 checkpoints. There's a checkpoint at the gate by the glass, and there's a checkpoint off the right side. So you can jump to one of the checkpoints from mid. As you can see here, the checkpoints on that lower part, you can jump straight to it. It's a very fast checkpoint. It's very aggressive, very quick, and both checkpoint paths are very, very different gameplay experiences. So both teams need to understand what plays best to their strengths and go with it. We do see the brush coming out here again from the Goobers. So this time it's the vanilla one, the one with the Splat Bomb and the whales. So that's an interesting change, not bringing the hammer. We see 2 Splatonas inside of Sparkling Sea, as 2 members of Sparkling Sea do go down. And now the Goobers are pushing up. No one's grabbed the Rainmaker yet. They're trying to get a strong footing before they move that Rainmaker, which could be to their benefit or could be their detriment. We're going to see how it plays out.
I generally can't tell you which checkpoint might be the better one to take in the situation. I know the Goobers share in that sentiment. From downtown, though, Ingzuka shuts down 2 of the Goobers' own members, and now SplatoonTourney are looking to try and convert this into as much of an adventure as they can. Just rushing in, trying to shut down that other Ingzuka as best as they can.
Yeah, Cyan from Sparkling Sea getting some very important picks there with that Zuka. Unfortunately, unable to continue pushing in on those members and going down. The Sparkling Sea does take the first checkpoint, which is very important here, as we're only about just over a minute into the match. Though the Goobers now taking that Rainmaker, getting 3 down on the side of Sparkling Sea, just solo the Rainmaker walking by themselves to the checkpoint, goes straight across, does manage to break it. And with Sparkling Sea down 2 members, now 1, the Goobers may take the lead here, and they're going to try to see if they can get as many points as possible to make Sparkling Sea panic a bit more in this match. Getting down to 18 points. It's still, everyone is dead. There's no clear fight winner in any of these fights, as Sparkling Sea are trying desperately to push the Goobers out of their base in order to hold some space. They need to make a big push, but there's still 3 minutes and 17 seconds left, so anyone can take this game.
The Goobers are not letting up on the gas. They're just keep going forward and forward and forward. Just keeping Sparkling Sea off tempo, off beat. 2 down, and the Rainmaker couldn't even get out of their base side of the map. I think that's a dangerous situation for them to be in right now. The Goobers are looking at it with that paintbrush, just going in, causing mayhem, just utterly distracting them as the Rainmaker makes a breakaway to try and get as close as they can, just getting shut down before any much more damage can be done.
Sparkling Sea does manage to drop this Rainmaker, thankfully, and get it out of their base. The Goobers did not let up the gas, as you said. They kept just grabbing the Rainmaker, pushing it further, not getting any more points, but just keeping it in awkward positions. Sparkling Sea now does get 2 of the Goobers down, though the Goobers do have a Zuka ready, and they get wiped out! Sparkling Sea are walking straight through, and they might get the lead here. They do get the lead. They're going to go for the KO. They do not get the KO, but Sparkling Sea now has the lead with 1 member left alive. The Goobers are going to try to push out that Wiper, grab that Rainmaker, and now it's the Goobers' turn to make another push, and as we've seen, they can push pretty far. Can they do it again? There's 2 minutes left, so we're gonna have to wait and see.
Like a pendulum, once one team gets an advantage, the other strikes back with just as much force. The 8-point difference between these 2 teams right now. But as far as you see, sitting at 10 points remaining, the Goobers, in order to at least contest that 10 points, it's what I like to call a near knockout scenario too, where in order to get those 10 points, you might as well be in a situation to get that knockout, as both teams are desperate to hold on to this mid as best as they can to see exactly what's going to be next on their game plan.
Yeah, neither of these teams technically need a knockout, but they're going to want to at least touch that podium, so you might as well knock out while you're there and save yourself the headache. Though, we do see 2 down on the side of Goobers. Though, never mind, the Goobers do take down the hammer with the strikes, and now making a 3-3 scenario. Another hammer coming out from the side of Sparkling Sea, and they do manage to take down one of the Goobers. Another second Goober drops down out of position. They're still just chasing. They want to get that pick, and they do take them down. Sparkling Sea now in a good position, and they already have the lead. This push, they don't need to get more points. It's a great thing if they can, but right now they just want to waste as much time as possible, as there's only a minute left in this match for the Goobers to do something about this lead.
Tempo control is key here with Rainmaker as they're looking to try and potentially get that duck, but no, they just get as far as they did on that last push. 3 down for Sparkling Sea. Goobers are cleaning up the remaining members of that team as we head to the final 40 seconds of this game. With that Rainmaker probably being reset, as I say that, there's a little bit of indecision from the Goobers right now. Not sure what they want to do, but in that indecision to go down with the Goobers, Sparkling Sea has the lead right now. They have the man advantage. They have tempo control. They can stall this out or go as aggressive as they want to. The cards are in their hands.
Yes, the Sparkling Sea here, they still have this lead with 15 seconds left in the match. The Goobers are trying to win this fight to grab the Rainmaker, though they go 2 down. Sparkling Sea is just trying to waste time. They're trying to get picks, though the Goobers trying to get overtime by grabbing this Rainmaker. No one's grabbing it. Okay, they do manage to grab it with 1 second left. The Goobers have a very important overtime push to do here. They have to play as carefully as possible. They cannot risk dropping this Rainmaker if they want to win this match.
One mistake is all it's going to take for the Goobers to drop this Rainmaker. Sparkling Sea doing everything they can in their power to try and deny them. With the hammer canceled, another player goes down. The paintbrush running the distraction. They're going in, but they couldn't get it in time. There was just 1 point difference. They were unfortunately snubbed out from the lead right then and there. Oh no!
Oh my god, the Goobers 1 point away from victory. They could smell it, they could taste it, they could see it, but they could not grab it. Unfortunately, for the Goobers at least, Sparkling Sea taking this match on Rainmaker, Robo Ramen, and my god, what a down to, like, you can't even say it's a close match. It was like, it is like a couple of units in the game. There's no like measure to how close that was. That's not safe for anyone. Everyone's heart is racing. I'm sure neither of these teams are calm. As you can see, not even us commentators are. We are losing our minds. Imagine what the players must feel right now.
You mentioned that there isn't a way to measure that, but there is a way to measure that, and that was 1 point. 1 point was all they needed to try and take that game away, but they couldn't get it. They were 1 point away from that victory, and Sparkling Sea has precedent from this game. Managed to get 2 in a row. We're heading into game number 8. I hope you're happy, Sam, because for all we know, these last 2 games can go for the Goobers. We can see actually a game 9 here.
Yes, and again, we want to see that game 9. I'm sure all of chat wants to see it. I want to see it. Dark, I know you want to see it. Saf doesn't want to see it, but we've been over this. Saf is stuck here anyway. She doesn't have a say in this. The players are the ones who have the say in this, as we are hopping into game 8, as you said, and I'm ready for a close one.
I am all in with you on that. A close one. This is going to be right. I need a retcon what I said earlier about if there are people interested in this game competitively or casually and they want to know what this game is about, don't show them that one game. Don't show them that one specific museum game. Show them this set. This set is filled with nothing but just constant back and forth down to the wire. Just 1 point differentials. It doesn't get any better than this. And this is Div 9.
Yeah, and to emphasize how back and forth this match is, me and Dark are trying to do like color commentary and analyze things and talk about it, and every time we stop casting what's happening, all 8 players in the match have died like twice since the last time we looked at the camera. They are constantly just going back and forth, and everyone's just throwing themselves into the fight, and neither team is really able to make any major footing, and it's so close. This is what you love to see. Both of these teams, as I mentioned before, have only seen sweeps this season, and now this is the total opposite. There is no clear, decisive winner here. Both of these teams are gunning for it.
Game 8, Splat Zone with Shipshape Cargo Company. Right now, technically speaking, Sparkling Sea is at match point. So in order, if the Goobers wants to win this, they need to win the next 2 games, or else they are done with this set. The stress is an all-time high because Sparkling Sea, they have a 1-game leeway leverage in order to try and win this set, while the Goobers have 0. They're on their last lifeline. As we see a quad shooter comp come out from the Goobers,
When you are down, when you have 1 more loss away from losing the whole set, you need to bring out your best, and the Goobers have decided it's time for a quad shooter. They're done playing games. They want to prove that they can win these team fights. Though the side of Sparkling Sea, they're opting for a bit different strategy. They're bringing out, the bucket. They're bringing out the charger, which we haven't seen the Splatoscope ZF, and they, again, just fights constantly happening. The Goobers go down 2, and now so does Sparkling Sea. Once again, it's always the double trade. There's always 2 people alive on both teams at any given moment. There's never a full team ready, as the Goobers may potentially take the zone here from Sparkling Sea. Both teams not making any major pushes, and a huge fight just happening on the side, and just total chaos right from the get-go. We're less than a minute in, and so much has already happened.
And the lead to get taken by Sparkling Sea early is lost just like that. And now the Goobers have the 1 control of mid. They have the 1 control over the tempo right now, as its points are taken in their favor. I am out of breath as these teams are constantly fighting back and forth. This Platana Stamper gets taken out, but the squeezer gets traded back in favor. There's tri-strikes going out. There's another few picks going out. I can't keep up.
The Goobers going down 1 to those strikes, going down 2 to that flank, and they are trying to keep the zone neutral. They do not want to get a penalty here. They want to make a very clean knockout, and they want to stay in the set. It is the safest way, and to continue as they do. They're now counting down 27 ticks to go. All 4 members of both teams alive, which is a very rare sight in this set. As I say that, 1 goes down the side of the Goobers. Zuka's coming in, Special's flying in from Sparkling Sea. Goobers down 2, they do lose the zones, they do get that penalty, they still have a lead, and they have to try to just keep the Sparkling Sea team out of the zone and try to keep that mid pressure as 2 go down to 1 member of the Goobers. Sparkling Sea holding mid control.
As we're sitting here at match point for Sparkling Sea, the Goobers cannot let up on anything. They need to be playing their absolute best for these final 2 games, and that they are as 2 goes out for the Sparkling Sea. They need to be the ones to play the hero right now, as now they have control over the zone. Penalty points are slowly ticking away. As another 2 goes out for Sparkling Sea, the Goobers are taking control of mid. They're looking to try to see exactly what they can clean up, what they can deny Sparkling Sea from any control over. As the fight breaks out on the left side by the 2 shots, there's just constant chaos going on.
Yeah, Cyan trying to get a cheeky flank on the side there, having to jump out and staying alive, which is very important. You want to make sure that you're staying alive. And with these 2 teams, they're constantly getting trades back and forth. Staying alive is the key. And as Sparkling Sea takes down 3 on the Goobers, they are staying alive. They are holding this map. They're trying to count down this penalty, maybe start counting down towards a lead. As they're getting into the spawn of the Goobers, trying to see if they can make some plays happen. Though, to mixed results, they do take 1 down, but they do lose 1 in return. They're backing a bit now. They're realizing that they need to have that full team if they want to get in there, maybe get some specials ready. As the Goobers do fire off Azuka, take down 1 and lose 1 in return. It's just constant back and forth. As Sparkling Sea are now counting down, they get a wipeout on the Goobers. They're counting down. They may be taking a lead here, Dark.
This is not good for the Goobers. If they want to stay alive in this game right now, they have to get as many picks as they can. A trade is not what you want to see. 10 points remaining. Tri-strikes are going out. 2 now, we're just trying to see if the Goobers can paint just well enough. They can take it. And they take control it. And they take it right under the noses of Sparkling Sea. They are the heroes right now. And they take this game. And they're alive just for a little bit longer.
The Goobers are fighting tooth and nail to stay in this set. I'm not sure if it came through, but Saf just screamed out of disbelief, out of rage, out of excitement. I don't know what that scream was. Many mixed emotions, and that's how we feel too. There's 2 going down the side of Sparkling Sea from the Zuka from Kanai, and a 3rd pick. Kanai gets the wipe. And now the Goobers are trying to get through this penalty. They're so close to taking this lead. There's a minute left in the match. The Goobers are trying their best to hold Sparkling Sea out to stay alive in this set and bring us to a game 9. They're through the penalty. There's 10 ticks. 9, 8, 7, 6. Sparkling Sea walking in. They're trying to get through.
They gotta hold! And they hold on! And they hold on! Seth, I'm sorry! We're going to game 9!
The Goobers, the dream. They walk in halfway through that last tick, get the neutral, get the cap. They're able to whittle it down and just in that 1v1 bring it down. And you can't. There's no one on this planet who can efficiently commentate what just happened. There are like 5 different encounters happening at one given time. The zone is going back and forth. It's just these teams are pulling out all of the stops to stay in here as we go to game 9. The Goobers, I don't even like. It's just, it's so much happened.
God,
They can have it. They can have it.
I cannot.
We're almost an hour behind schedule, but like it's fine. It's fine. Send it. Send it.
And you can see there in that replay, the Sparkling Sea almost doing the same thing the Goobers did. They're able to almost just get the zone back to their color, the same as the Goobers did, but unfortunately, just the timing wasn't right, and the Goobers did manage to take that set or take that match, sorry, as we go to game 9 of the set, and my God, yeah, it's so close.
These teams have fought tooth and nail against each other, practically bloodied at this point. They were able to hold on to the zone up until the last literal frame. That was a zone flip right at that final frame. As we're heading into Game 9, Sparkling Z versus the Goobers. This is a match to be told about. And as we're looking at the next game, Makeup Art Clam Blitz, as President has shown from this set so far, the Goobers are looking to actually take the set.
Yeah, you've got to be stressed if you're any of these 8 players in this match. It's so close. You don't want to give the team any leeway here. This is game 9. There's nothing left. It comes down to one match. Nothing else matters. You have to win this Mako Mart Clams game, and it once again, it's Clams. It comes down to the coordination. It comes down to the fact that there's no checkpoints. There's no like time-based points. It's all just scoring as fast as you can. One of these teams could KO in 40 seconds. You have to not give that team enough footing. You have to find that advantage somewhere. Those team fights are so close. That's not where you're going to find that advantage. You need to have some kind of footing. You need to get that flank. You need to get that positioning, that coordination. Something needs to come up for one of these teams if they really want to solidify their win here in this tense set.
Game 9, baby!
In this set,
yes,
what has already been precedented with the Goobers. You mentioned that a lot of what rides on this set is being able to coordinate, is being able to stay organized, but the Goobers have that special weapon up their sleeve to disrupt any coordination, any organization, and that's called Spat Brush Nouveau. It's gonna be their absolute key to abuse, as well as for Sparkling Z's key to abuse on their own end. And just like that, Heavy Edit down! 2 down!
They didn't respect the brush. The brush walks in for free. One member left of Sparkling Z alive as they're going down. That is a delayed wipe. The Goobers now trying to make a clam as fast as they can so they can break this basket with only 30 seconds into the match. They're unable to break it. Kenai going down the brush. But no, the zap on the side of Goobers is able to run in, break the barrier, and get taken out. Once again, similar to the last Clams game we saw, we're seeing a very quick break, but no follow-up points with it. And you really want to start getting those Clams in because it's not a very safe score.
1 down for the Goobers. Sparkling Z with the specials online at the ready. They're looking to try and see exactly who they can pick off, who can they flush out. Pay attention to the brush and make sure they can't get behind us as Tri-Strikes go out. That could be the smoke screen. The brush needs to get in the back line and try and disrupt it, but no, everyone's still facing in front of each other. The cards are still all on the table. It's a constant trade back and forth. Zuka comes out of nowhere. There's just as soon as one fight breaks out, oh man, it's thrown out of the window.
We see a few members going down to the side of the Goobers, of Sparkling Z here. The Goobers trying to take some mid control as they are getting pushed up. 3 push up on the right side. The T-Tech does break the barrier as now 2 members down to the Goobers. Can they get a few more Clams here? The brush is holding 7 Clams. It does get pushed out and the other member jumps. This seems like this is very historic here. We saw that last Clams game on Museum. This is how the Goobers played it. They broke once, they broke twice, and with no other follow-up. And can they just continue that and try to get more of a lead here and not let Sparkling Z in?
It's so hard to say right now at this early, especially with how these two teams have been playing with one power clam in the basket. Just like that, Sparkling Z is taking the lead. Even though they're 2 down, Goobers just coming in, collapsing on the reigning members with Tri-Strikes, with the brush. They're looking to try and use this to their advantage to see exactly if they can get the clam economy back under their name. Especially with Tactical Route, they have the aggression. The gas pedal starting to get pushed down on, even slammed at this point, as they're just cutting chaos, and 2 go down on each side!
We need a tally on the screen for how many times it's been 2 down on both sides, because it is a constant state of this match. We see a hammer coming out from Kenai on the left on the side. They do throw it and get the hit with the arc hammer. They are pushing in. They're utilizing that momentum. They take in another member. They're going for a third. They do get the pick. They get the trade, as now the Goobers want to make a push here. They do have a power clam. They do throw it in from behind. They take that in very important flank. They do take the lead by 2 points, which is only less than a clam, and now they get more clams in. But you want to get more points in this. You want to get more than this, as Sparkling Z can break and just get 2 clams and take that lead back.
as we've seen already, a lead like this could go away in an instant, or it could just stay there for the remainder of the game and get decided in overtime. Sparkling to see are desperately looking and trying to see exactly which angle they can get to try and get that any sort of lead over the Goobers, as 2 did go down earlier. The Brush is looking to try and harass, but they are failed and they've ended up retreating. Things are resetting back to neutral as we head to the final minute 30 of not just this game, of this set. The trade goes out, but the Goobers are down an extra player. Sparkling Z are looking to try to take that to advantage.
Yes, 3 Goobers go down here. Sparkling Sea are trying to make a push here, though Sunny is relentless in staying alive and keeping the Goobers out. I'm losing track of which side is which, because both teams are just flinging themselves at each other. Sparkling Sea breaks and get 2 power claims. They take a commanding lead here as they're able to get 2 members of the Goobers down. They're going to try to keep getting more claims in as they do. Cyan managed to get a couple of claims in. Alex is looking to try to get a couple more picks here on the side, though they are running past them to get more clams in. They're trying to command this lead and make it so that the Goobers can push again, but they will not get down to past 12. I think that's as the Goobers now get the wipe, and they're going to try to collect as many clams as possible. 30 seconds left. They need a big push if they want to take this game.
This is very dangerous. We're going to see the clam mask is down. This push is getting down. The power clams at the ready. There's a lot of clams with the Brush, and they gotta get this going right now. The Brush is going in. The Brush is lead. They lost the lead. They lost the lead. Goobers lead the lead right now. It was nothing to it. They take this Division 9-3 game. Oh no.
What? The Goobers out of nowhere. 3 power clams to follow up the 2 from Sparkling Sea, managed to KO with only a few seconds left in the match. I don't think even the Goobers expected that push. It came out of nowhere. What did we witness? That, like, it cannot be understated how close this set was. It came down to the last few seconds of the last game. Just, I'm at a loss for words.
It's for these last moments for Sparkling Z, it was a series of unfortunate events. The splash was being popped at the right time. Enough of the players were scattered so they can't actually collapse on the remaining players, as that pesky Brush, likes to come in and out. All the attention is turned on the Brush because of conditioning, but just like that, they cannot turn their attention elsewhere, and they just end up taking the lead from out of nowhere. What should have been a commanding 12 points remaining from Sparkling Z just got instantly washed away.
Yeah, you can see in the replay we just saw on stream, 3 members of Sparkling Sea desperately looking for that Brush that has 7 clams. They're unable to locate them in time. Kenai on the Brush, a very strong player on the side of the Goobers, able to get that power clam, jump in, get that lead, and then the rest of the team able to throw in those last 3 clams needed to take it. And my God, such a close set, but the Goobers do take that set 5-4 over Sparkling Sea, getting another win for this Ludi season, and both teams taking a very strong stance and showing that they're both in it to win it, and that these are going to be very strong teams going forward later in Div 9A.
These 2 teams did it phenomenally well, and I really want to talk more about what we just witnessed. We are 50 minutes behind schedule, so we gotta wrap up and hand it off to Sappy here in just a second. But before we do that, Hammy, where can they find you?
Yeah, we don't want to take up too much time here, so yeah, I'm Hammy. You can find me at most platforms at Hammy in the Wall, mostly on Twitter, and on Discord I'm HITW, which is the shortening of it, and yeah, you'll find me around. And Dark, what about you? Where can the lovely people find you?
You can find me both at Twitter and Twitch at SPF_Dark, where I repost some random nonsense. I stream from time to time. I'm also at TCA quite often, actually, so you can also catch me there. Man, I am just so out of breath. And once again, while I stop just one more second, both of these teams did phenomenal. I love you guys so much. But Sam, please take it away.
Again, it's one of those things where I mean, no, like really, you guys, look at this scoreboard. Look at below us here, because that quite literally was anybody's set down to the wire. And I mean, I know we make jokes where we're like, oh, geez, like game 9, and like, yeah, we are a little bit behind, but like, holy smokes, you guys. It's like, yeah, they're trying to play as quick as they can, but like, look at this. You have just so much.
What do you mean a little bit behind? This is 50 minutes. The Goobers and Sparkling Sea, they wanted their moment to shine. They wanted their time in the limelight. They said, no, we're not making this quick. We're dragging this out. We are getting screen time. I want to show off. Like, and people were showing off. A lot of names started coming up, like Cyan and Kanai and these players who were just making those plays to kind of keep their team in there, and they wanted to just shine and prove that they don't want to be in Div 9. They want to shoot up through the ranks, and they want to just make a name for themselves.
Clearly.
I gotta say, the kids over in Div 4 coming up next, you have a hell of a performance to try it upstage. Take this to Game 9. Make Sap suffer. Please, we want this.
All right, you're done, kid. You're done, kid.
Yeah, you're cut off. You're cut off. We're both cut off. Like that, as we said, we have another match to get to. They've been waiting very patiently for the last almost an hour or so. Give it up for your next two teams that are coming up on set. Please, everyone, just stay to watch this next set. It's going to be a very hype set. I just know it, believe me. But with that being said, I think me and Dark are ready to sign off and head it over to our next commentators.
We're done. I'm done.
Listen now. Okay, that was amazing. Thank you so much to Hammy and Dark for being here. We appreciate it so much. We are a little bit behind, but look it, we're gonna take another quick break to get our new folks in here. Keon and Toma will be joining us on the mic, and we have a Div 4E match coming up next for y'all, so don't go anywhere. Remember, you're watching Ludi tonight on SplatoonTourney. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for waiting. Welcome back to Ludi tonight. Finally, our final set of the evening. A whole hour later, thanks to our double game 9s that we had going on the mic now with me. It says Hammy and Dark, but don't be fooled. It's actually Keon and the Toma. Hello, you guys. Hello, hello. I love you both. How are you guys doing?
You go on first.
I'm doing great, and Saf, I'm here. I'm ready for our 9 p.m. set, and some people might be saying we're running a little bit behind. I disagree personally. I think we are actually running about 5 minutes early. This is just at 9 p.m. Central, right? Like,
Totally.
we're all on point.
this is what everything's predicted. What you have witnessed here today is that we are actually been right on time this entire time. No, you are not been fooled whatsoever. No, I'm at a loss of words for with what today has been. So that's how I'm feeling.
You and me both, bud. Okay, but listen. So listen. 4E, Div 4E, Group 4E, we have gotten to see a lot of action from this division and this group in particular. So Memento Mori and Nanotrescent are back with us again, both of them being 2-0 in the season, both of them looking to give the other their first defeat. Now, Kyon, what are your kind of thoughts and feelings looking at that?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be excited to see which team will be the one to hand out the first defeat. I'm not sure if you guys are hearing what that mic static there, but yeah, Memento Mori and Nanoterasen. Memento Mori has been on Ludi tonight so far. They're going to make their third straight appearance. We've seen Nanoterasen once. Really excited to see who's going to be the first team to give the other team their loss. I think the hidden message I want to say is I want to see this possibly go to our third game 9, but I hope I don't jinx it.
Stop it. You stop that right now. Toma, your thoughts?
I'm really excited to see what's going to be coming out here. Nanoterasen and Memento Mori, we've seen both of these teams before here. And I mean, in general, shout out to Div 4E here, who has been really just going ham with their sets. And we're kind of seeing this whole story unfold on Ludi tonight as they go through week for week. So we're going to see who's finally going to be getting the edge and looking to make that playoff run.
Yeah, and that'll be a lot of fun to watch as we about to kick off this best of 9. By the way, huge shoutouts to both Memento Mori and Nanoterasen for just giving us allowing us to just catch up and wait and see how this set goes. Toma, this should be a very exciting matchup ahead of us. Scorch Gorge Clams going to be the first one coming up.
Yep, Scorch Gorge Clams. That's a map that we're all very familiar. I would say that we're more familiar with some maps than others usually in a Ludi set, but I think we're pretty familiar with all these equally so far tonight. Going out into Scorch Gorge Clams, it's obviously, it's a classic Clam Blitz map. But I'm excited to see what both these teams are going to be going for. My memory is terrible. Anybody who knows me can tell you that. So whatever I remember from previous weeks, it's gone. I don't remember what these players play. I'm going to be learning again. Actually, I think I lied. I think that I've seen. Okay, maybe not. I think Damp plays Brush. I could be so wrong. If not, I'm so sorry, Damp. This could be totally incorrect, and I'm just spewing lies out there on the internet.
This wouldn't be the first time because I'm also joining you on that boat. I think the only closest member I would have had to get a read on was Pixel on Nanoterasen, but I feel like with all the members I've seen here, which by the way, you noted there too, Damp, Bebop, Pixel, and Hayden, four members across both teams I was noting. I should very clearly know what the weapons are for them, but I'm going to be drawing a blank. So I'm joining you on this one. Going to probably wait to see how the set plays out the rest of the way. Thomas, it feels like it's been what feels like a long while. I'm really excited to see how this Div 4 setup. Both teams should be readying up here shortly leading into this. I cannot understand. I am really excited to see how these 2-0 teams go at it.
Yeah, I definitely am too, and we're going to be loading into this game here now as they all ready up. Scorch Gorge, Clam Blitz, let's go. Kyon, here we load in as they're going to be coming in across that screen. I'm going to look to see if I got Damp's weapon completely wrong, and yes, I was right. Let's go. Damp does play Ink Brush. I did not lie on the internet.
Bonus points for you. And that is an Anaki Nova. I've seen everything to here today. Terramon's going to be the one dishing out the Anaki Nova with the 8-jet ink mines on top of it. That's what Nanoterasen is being dishing out here. Otherwise, B-Rock, by the way, also on that Stamper with the crab. So I'm actually liking the crab choices overall from the side of Memento Mori there. We do get to see a few members just dropping right out of the gate. One member has gone down so far. Pixel on the road. That was the one weapon I was familiar with there too. Both teams kind of getting a good feel for each other to start things off.
Yeah, AJ here trying to play around this mid and move up with their teams. You see Damp is sitting there under that corner. AJ's just going to be looking for clams. As you can see, Memento Mori has a ton of space to work with here at the moment, but has to get that clam economy together with that space, and they have to be careful as Nanoterasen had that jet out, forcing them back some, but as Nanoterasen loses another member, make that 2 to Damp on that hammer. They're going to be looking at their first score there, and they're able to get that basket open. AJ coming in with some follow-up.
Yeah, great follow-up overall. I love that Damp is just leaning up with the hammer there just to put down a lot of paint. Bebop's going to be following suit here with 5 clams of their own. They're so excited this push. Overall, down to 38 points remaining. It's just from the 1 clam there. Damp still trying to lurk a little lurk large, excuse me, but Nanotarasa is going to pump the brakes on that push. Booyah Bomb was just there to make sure that there was nobody sneakily going through. AJ goes down on top of it. Pixel was able to get the pick there. 38 points remain. Still a very strong start right out of the gate there from Memento Mori.
And you can see even Nanotrossin wanting to move up there very fast, but Memento Mori shutting them down. Blue there saying, hey, I know where you are. You can't run up that fast on me. But Nanotrossin is still doing a great job trying to get that space in, have that inkjet. Going to be holding this place in mid, but losing their roller is going to be difficult. As you can see, and that Memento Mori just... As soon as I say that, they don't let up. Then they lose 2 of their own, and they're going to continue the stalemate. Hayden seeking in on the side, but Damp sees it. It's going to be pushing into that. It looks like they're going to be trading there, and it's still just this stalemate battle here on mid that Pixel's finally looking to break, and this bubble could be great for them.
This bubble could be very good on top of it, as we do get to see the jump there. The power climb, I love that jump too, right into the bubble, at least get themselves protected in. And now they're going to be able to break through that barrier there. We do see a lot of clams being dished out. Hayden's going to be the one lagging a little large, but it's only going to go down real quickly there on top of it. 3 members down. It's only just a 1+1 push to make that happen, though, Toma, but it's still at least points on the board. They're going to need a little bit more than just what we saw. The idea was sound there. Get the power clam jumped in, break the barrier through. I did see the second power clam there, just maybe a few minutes too late, or just not enough setup in the grand scheme of things. But again, you may as well have points on the board. Make sure to help reduce that lead a little further.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still plenty of time on the board right now, Keon. 2 minutes left in this game is a lot of time for Nanotrossin to work their way back in, but they have to be very methodical about it, especially with the way that Memento Mori fights together. You can see that they have that clam economy going right now in their favor, even more as that Nautilus is picking up more. So they're going to be looking for that team fight soon. So Nanotrossin has to be careful not to overextend themselves and let Memento Mori pick them off, especially when you can see so much blue ink traversing around mid. Nanotrossin is trying to make sure that they give up as little of that space as possible, building up those specials. They have this bubble ready. They're trying to get their jet over there, but the Anaki is going to be going down, leaving an opening for Memento Mori to try to get through, but 2 down now there. It's going to give them some room to work with. Pixel sharking here on this side, just looking at that ball, making sure that no one's going to be picking them up, and Damp does manage to get in and get away with it. And we're still just kind of seeing that stalemate game, Keon. This is a map where I think both those teams aren't going to be so confident to be able to push up into that ramp until they get some more solid picks.
Yeah, I think they're just waiting for the right time to strike. Winning out that fight, trying to get 2 or 3 down, multiple members down at a time. Just try there, because by doing that, they're going to help build themselves a better push in the long run. And I'm still wondering when they're going to use this one. Here's we see Pixel sneaking through, and that's going to be Pixel taking out one. Bebop has gone down. There's going to be another member going down on top of it. Now the clam should be dished out here shortly. Inkjet is there, still lurking large, but where is that power clam? Terramon has a few clams of their own. Gets a nice little pick there onto AJ, but where's that push? There it goes on the side. 16 point remaining, and there's 2 members down. They're going to be able to break that one down to 48 points remaining, but is the follow going to be there just in time? Hayden's about to enter right in. There's the 1 clam. 3 members have gone down, and that's all that push is going to be. They're going to have to build up another power clam to force OT here. Toma, only 2 members are about to respawn, and they got to find those clams now.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult too now that you saw they kind of staggered down, and Memento Mori wasted no time taking that space, but a pick on Devosian there is huge, and they're going to be forcing Memento Mori further and further back, and they really need to remind that momentum, but not a power clam to be seen. I didn't even realize they didn't have a power clam, so they're not even going to be triggering overtime. And Kyon, that's sometime how the cookie crumbles. You have to be really careful. I think that Nanotrossin had a really good push there. They got some super solid picks, but kind of like you said, they just didn't have the clams in the basket there ready to go as soon as they got those picks. So it kind of stalled out for a little while.
Yeah, and the worst part about it too is I'd imagine that was the pity clam or the free clam back in the basket, just trying to make a desperation push happen there, but it felt like a little early on the timer there for the most part. We do get to see our replays there the last 15 seconds, and yeah, we're about to see here there was literally no clam available. They used up everything on that push, just trying to break it, trying to get lead. You only have less than 20 seconds. You got to find those clams through. Other thing to note though is that a handful of members of Memento Mori had clams themselves, so they got to take them out, and then you got to coordinate the clams all in the last 20 seconds. There literally wasn't enough time to make that one all count by the grand scheme of things. As you noted there too, Nana Terrasa, not enough time left on the clock. I had a feeling that they must have used that free clam to make that push happen, but to no success. And as you mentioned, how the cookie crumbles, Memento Mori up 1-0. Sturgeon Tower is going to be coming up.
Yep, and I'm excited to see how they're going to be taking on this new challenge, Keon, because Clam Blitz is such a special mode. You kind of have to play around multiple things. You have to play around your picks, you have to play around map control, you have to find your clams. There's a lot that goes into whether or not you can get a good push in, and it's not just the picks that matter. On tower control, you have a little bit more leniency. If you get those picks, you can kind of just ride the tower, and as long as there's no one there, there's really no one left to contest you, and you can continue to score. And on a map like Sturgeon Shipyard, where that tower is giving you special control and you can kind of just run in, you can provide special to your teammates, they can find picks, the picks make it longer for the enemy team to get out, which means that's more time to build special. It kind of snowballs and snowballs away. So I think that if the teams here can just find those really solid picks like Leonardo Trausen has been doing and just keep up that forward aggression, they'll be sitting in a much more comfy position on this map.
And the best thing too, as well, is I love we've got a lot of good angles on how Pixel was just able to take advantage of them just trying to shark and then trying to find a few picks that way, which just helped open the space there in Scorch Gorge Clams. So coming into Sturgeon Shipyard Tower Control, which should be queued up here shortly, this is gonna be the map I'm gonna be curious about with how Memento Mori dishes out there. I believe I'm still stuck in that in our feed. Hello, everybody. But as everybody should be running up here shortly, and right out of the gate, I see the RBP deco from Terriermon coming up here, and Pixel switches to the Carbon Roller deco. That's the one with the Zuka.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good special for them there, Keon. And likewise, if they can put a lot of paint down, it's going to be really good to shark and get in on off angles and just surprise people by popping out of that ink. And we can already see here that Nanotrozen is starting off with that good here lead. Try to get 2 down, and they have that early commanding presence. Bothian is riding that tower there, gonna find that first checkpoint break, and they just need to kind of get some more ink forward at the moment. You notice the tower is ahead of the rest of their teammates, so that's gonna kind of make it easy for Damp to be able to stop it from going any further. But as those specials come out, you can see that inkjet finding 2 there, finding 3. This is the situation they want to be in.
And this is just a snowball effect here for Sturgeon Tower Control, and all of a sudden, this is just full Nano Terrasin from start to finish. We saw a contrast from Maps 1, where we kind of saw this slow buildup of Scorch Clams happen the way through. Nano Terrasin has, well, other ideas there. Toma, well, all of a sudden you blink, and it's a 1-1 set after the second map concluded.
Yep, and I mean, Keon, exactly what I was saying is that these teams needed to wait, and they just needed to get that special. They needed to get forward and fight together, and then just continuously build that special, you know, pop them, get picks, stop them from touching the tower, and just ride uncontested. I mean, that's literally exactly what happened. We saw there that once that first checkpoint broke, basically, it was all over from there. The inkjet got popped, it found 2 picks, everybody ran forward, and then no one from Memento Mori was ever allowed to touch the tower ever again. Like,
and the best part too there, Toma, is I think we saw Boshin with that double on the Tri-Slosher, which honestly just kickstarted everything from start to finish, because that gave them a huge what I like to call man advantage. You have a lot more members up compared to the other team. And again, when you identify that, obviously from a macro standpoint, you're like, okay, now we can get that first checkpoint. Maybe we can get a little bit more. You know there too. Inkjet's gonna be the one following suit, gets 2 more. And at that point, you noted there, Memento Mori, you're not allowed to touch the tower anymore. You're not allowed to play defense. We're just gonna take this all the way home and get the quick 100-0 there. So Nano Traston, what a great response overall from them there, Toma. And I'm gonna be looking forward to how this third map shapes out. Already a tied set so far, though. This has been delivering the way I hoped it would.
Yeah, it was crazy there. And I'm excited to see, you know, I talk about getting forward in front of that objective and just providing a safe path. Rainmaker is going to be another one that we see that happen. And I'm kind of wondering if we're going to see this thing time and time again, where maybe those modes where Nano Trossin can just run forward and get in front of that objective, like TC and Rainmaker will be better for them, where some of those where you have to play around the map a little bit more, like zones and clampets, might be a little bit more in favor of Memento Mori.
Yeah, and this is how this is gonna be the one mode where I'm gonna be curious to see if if Nanotarastin, excuse me, will have that response. We'll be loading into Undertow Rainmaker coming up here, and we do get to see, yes, I believe the Stamper's gonna be the one dished out there. Hayden's gonna be the one wielding the Trinova this time, and hey, the Inaki Nova is back. Now, I did note that there was a Stamper there as well. It's the regular Stamper from B-Rob, so you got the Zipcaster readily available.
Yes, they do, and right now they're going to be battling it out in mid for that pop. Memento Mori and Nanotarastin trying to see who can get it. It looks like right now from this map that it looks like Memento Mori is going to kind of get a little bit early of that lead. You see Damp going to be trying to push forward, take some more space, but as soon as I say that, Inkjet is out on the side of Nanotarastin. We've seen the work that does. The Zuka coming out as well, going to be forcing them back, and now just as I say that, Nanotarastin has that 3-up situation. Pixel moving up fast there, and Bosian moving on that left side. You can see that they're going to be trying to take this first checkpoint. Not too much there to stop them at the moment, and they are going to be able to get that. No, not. I thought they were, but it looks like the whale picks them off just in time.
That could have not been any more clutch there. That would have been the first checkpoint, and AJ just gonna opt for the reset in that one. Just not wanting to bite off, not wanting to force a push with where the Rainmaker's position. I absolutely love that from them there. So let's see how this reset does play out though. The points will heavily favor Nanotarastin. Memento Mori still has that special available. They got the Stamper with the Zipcaster. If they can get any value out of that one, that would be awesome. But of course, you gotta respect the Inkjet that Terriermon has been dishing out on top of it too. This is the one I'm going to be curious to see how the comps play out, because you also have to enable that Carbon Roller to do that Pixel wielding to just be able to find a few picks, and they've done just that as B-Rob gets, okay, that was beautiful, right on to Hayden as well, but I don't think there's going to be much movement there. Zuga is going to be able to find them by the end of things. We're kind of stuck into this little stalemate setup there, but 2 members have gone down. Maybe Nanotarastin could be able to push again.
Yeah, that looks like they're definitely going to be trying to, and they're going to be moving there fast on that left-hand side. You can see that there are members there trying to stop them. The Pixel is going to be fastly taking them out. Like you said, that getting the Carbon Roller forward is super important. And I think what's worth noting here, too, is you have that double cooler comp on the side of Nanotarastin, which is allowing them to play even faster, which is important when you have a weapon like both Carbon and Tri-Nouveau that can really run forward. You see Hayden there just putting in a lot of aggression. Ocean trying to peek around the corner, but is going to fastly move it around and pick up some points there in that Ikable choke point instead now. And just like that, Pixel is still alive here. They still got that Inkjet up. Pixel slipping through, gonna take it down to 8, and Nanotarastin's like, they are just here living in the base of Memento Mori.
Yeah, Memento Mori is now having to face the prospect of playing defense for a little while there, as Terriermon's going to try to forcibly pick up the Rainmaker. It's 2 members down. Push should probably be stalled here in just a few moments there, unless Pixel has other ideas, but it looks like they're going to wisely retreat. And this is really what we've seen here at Toma is Nanotarastin being very slippery. I know there too. It's like, how on earth did Boshin get through some of those members the way they did on that side, and then just the rest of Nanotarastin following suit. Again, Pixel was just right there, able to sneak through the Rainmaker, just going forward. Just being able to get points on the board is a big thing. And we have yet to see a score from Memento Mori so far. This has been a great response from Nanotarastin between maps 1 and 2. I'd like to see a little bit more aggression. See if they can enable Dam and our Stamper player. Just trying to see if we can make this one count. Zipcaster and Cooler available. They've both been popped.
Yes, they have, and you've got Memento Mori moving there, trying to go and see if they can find that dunk on the left-hand side, but you look, Terriermon there dropping down and picking off that Rainmaker, has that jet ready to go as well, and that's the power of the Anarchy Nova for you. It's not a weapon that you see super often, but it puts down so much pain. It gets such fast inkjet, so you can see that it took out Blue there before going down, and even going down, not a big deal, because it's going to have that inkjet back right before you know it, and that's kind of what Terriermon's been doing this entire game so far.
Yeah, I'd like to see if Terriermon can, again, as you know there too, Anaki Nova being able to put down so much pain and just get a lot of value from the Inkjets, especially from what we saw from the previous map. That's going to be the big thing I'm going to be keeping an eye on as in the waning moments of this game. And now, speaking of Inkjet, it's been popped again once more by Terriermon. If Terriermon is able to find a few more, that would be very nice, but not able to do so. We did see that Damp did go down just a bit earlier there, and they do take out Pixel. Pixel has been taken out there as well. It's actually kind of a bit of a messy fight up front, but it is going to be 2 members down on Nanotarastin. They're going to have to retreat just a tiny bit, but no, they do have the lead. They could focus their efforts on playing very defensively. Their Damp doesn't quite pick up the Rainmaker yet. I think it's having to double guess themselves in the last seconds. 15 seconds left here. Toma, Memento Mori with one last push.
Yeah, they have to make it come together here, and notably, they still need to get that first checkpoint. So they're going to have to drop that Rainmaker and repop it, which is going to stall it there in that left-hand corner for just a little bit longer. But the Zuka may end their run before they even get the chance to, and Memento Mori going to go down there. Nano Trossen taking this set up 2-1.
Yeah, this is just a very different looking Nano Terrasin from map 1. Maps 2 and 3, full on aggression on display there with the assistance of Boshin and Pixel stepping up. And now this time almost the Terriermon show on top of it too with the Anaki Nova and just getting as much as they can out of the Inkjet. We're going to get a handful of replays there. Again, the last 20 seconds. This is the one I was knowing their damn could have picked up the Rainmaker. I think probably just realizing, all right, maybe not the right time to pick it up. Just going to give ourselves maybe a few more seconds to reset up there. And what I was wondering about is how did this push materialize? You see a few members going to the right-hand side. Actually, I think 3 was just enough to the right, and I think that might have built up just enough ink. And then Nano Terrasin has to realize, all right, they're going to try to force it on the left-hand side, just build up for the Zuga, which there was available. There were 3 specials right on top of it, and all that Pixel needed to do just land that Zuka shot where it needed to be, which was just perfectly placed. And as you know, there too, Nano Terrasin up 2-1, and I felt like we have a bit of a style difference this go around, especially with Pixel on that carbon roller.
Yeah, I mean, Pixel was able to just run forward so fast, enabled by that cooler, to move forward, find those picks, and kind of just live in the base. We saw it time and time again as they were up in Memento Mori's base, and every time they popped that Rainmaker, they were able to just kind of pick it up, go run for a little bit of points. It didn't really matter too much if they got shot down, and they'd be back before they knew it because they had that cooler and could jump right back into another cooler since they were double cooler. I think that, yeah, it's an unconventional comp, but I think it really worked out well for the weapons and the style that they were going for.
And I feel like what we're seeing here is Terriermon kind of flexing the many different inkjet weapons. As we saw the Anaki Nova right out of the gate, just providing paint for the team. I feel like they're going to probably utilize that Anaki Nova in moments where, okay, we're gonna need to get a lot more paint, possibly get Pixel on the board with their roller and the rest of the team there as well. We see Pixel has swapped into 2 different rollers. So you kind of get to see the roller specials in play for Nano Terrasin. For Memento Mori, of course, we've seen them win the first map very well there in Clams, especially through the power of just being able to get one really strong push as a team. So now we enter zones. And again, the stamp from B-Rob. B-Rob's been flexing over to either stamp where they see fit. And I'm a little bit wrong here on top of it. Terriermon's like, gonna prove me wrong. There's the Custom Expo to prove your point incorrect otherwise.
Pixel is going to be bringing out that Fling Cell with the special charge to throw some missiles at everybody, I suppose. So that's a little bit of a change up there. The custom X-Splasher as well on the side of Nano Terrasin. We're seeing quite the change up on their comp, and right now they're taking those zones by storm. Look at those missiles coming through, forcing back Memento Mori, and all of this orange ink going down. Pixel already looking to try to get that second missiles getting built up, and this can be a really lockout heavy map, even with this new area on the left. Even though everything's been expanded, it is a little bit easier for defenders to work with, but it's still going to be quite the match to try to get out of this base with all of this AoE option that Nano Terrasin has.
You're right on point there too, because you got to deal with the Tena missiles. You got to deal with the Booyah Bomb as well from the machine. Custom Expo, of course, will just be lobbing shots from the other side. Jam's not able to get any value out of that Ultra Stamp right out of the gate. And Nano Terrasin, again, we are getting a somewhat bigger difference, more aggression right out of the gate there, as Terriermon able to get one more on top of it. They got the triple splashdown available if they want to use it. Likely going to be holding on to it in case they need to flip the zone there. But Memento Mori is still kind of locked out here, and this might buy Nano Terrasin some time to build up specials. They gotta start coordinating right now because there's no specials available at this stage. Can they even move up just yet? Everyone's just trying to fiercely run in. There's that stamp. There's that triple splash, and I know they're there too, but 2 members have gone down. It's pretty much game over at that point, unless they're gonna keep it neutralized for maybe a few more seconds. And Nano Terrasin, convincingly once more, they take home this 4th map here in Mommy Zones.
Oh my gosh. And again, I mean, this is another map. I mean, zones, you can typically play around the map more. It may be a little bit slower sometimes, but on a map like this where you could just run forward into the opponent base, again, this is a map that really suits itself well to Nanotrosson's playstyle. Here we see this is the Explo was just applying so much pressure. They are being able to stop anybody from Memento Mori to really having an angle to be able to approach. And finally, as this timer is ticking down. There's not a lot of time left. They have about one more opportunity here to make a play, and they try to make it happen here. You see that they're going to be trying to go in that zone as Damp charges up that hammer and goes in. You have everybody drop, but Terriermon is just throwing those blobs, and then is going to be getting that splashdown down. You have Pixel and Bosian there, who are just, again, tag teaming anybody who drops from those grates, and it's just kind of game over. There's nowhere else to stand. Everybody is firing at you from every single angle. Nanotrosson really knows where they need to look to lock it down.
And the best part too is I love the change over to the missiles, and they pretty much had a game plan there too. Flings up for the missiles. You have the Booyah Bomb there. You know that you're going to be playing to Mami's own strengths, where hey, this could be a very lockout heavy map. Now, if there's anything that Memento Mori can look forward to, it is another claims map coming up here, Museum de Alfonso. We saw from the first map already they took home that clans map in Scorch, so they got to go back to what got themselves super successful. They're able to win out fights and then build up the necessary clans needed to get the score in. That's what we've seen so far. We saw that first push from the very first game. They took it down from 100 to 38. Try to see if they can replicate the same success, with Museum coming up being the difference.
Yep, and this is the mode that they are better on here. They have the patience to play this mode correctly. They know to build up that clan economy before going in, and they are able to get really solid pushes out of that. On the other hand, Nanotrosson, they've got that wind in their sails, but they just need to be very careful that they aren't overcommitting to a push before they're really actually ready to push. We've seen them go through that. We've seen them push up in the base and just have no clams to show for it. So that's really going to be the key here. If they can make that difference and they can make sure they have clams before pushing, they could be sending Memento Mori into a really dangerous match point situation.
Yeah, I was noting there too. They let Pixel, which again, this is such a good roller map too, with the way Pixel played that roller, just able to find 2 picks there. And now they got the power clan that is available. Boshin's gonna be the one to pick that one up on top of it. Now I gotta see how they're gonna try to get the setup here. There's the bubble that got popped on top of it. Boshin's just hanging on to this power clan just for dear life, waiting for the right time to strike there. And I think this is where you're gonna see Naki Nova in the 52 gal that also has been dished out to bring out support. In fact, speaking of which, it's 2 power clans already in. It's kind of blinked and you miss it. Hayden's gonna be the one to help bring in some of the small clans in. Yes, they are 3 down. Pixel will look to just wisely retreat here. Different story now. Now Nanotrosson and all the momentum in that world brings it down to 48 points remaining.
And that is a Nanotrosson that took notes from their first clams loss, making sure that they knew that they needed to build everything up before going in, and they have a beautiful game-opening push to show for it. But now it's Memento Mori's turn to show off. They've got that pick there onto the 52 gal, moving up. This is going to be good for them. They have to just find a few more. They have a lot of clams in their possession to work with. Damp trying to carve a path forward there, but realizing that they need a little bit more support. And with Hayden being behind, they need to turn around to be able to help their team there in mid. So Memento Mori is going to have to play this just a tad more patiently, waiting for that right moment. But they have the clan economy. They just really need to find these picks now.
And the big thing too is how do you deal with Pixel and Boshin is on top of it too. We're going to be seeing dueling coolers there, so just different varieties here. Heavy Edit and the N-Zap on top, but there's also been 3 specials. The Crab Tank, I believe, just got popped on top of it too. There's a Zipcaster and the Whale. This is just going to be causing a whole bunch of mayhem across the board. It does take up the 52 gal on top of this. Now they're going to try to paint up ahead, trying to make sure that there's paint on the board to allow this push to materialize. Boshin is just going to have to retreat here and just hang on to this fire line for dear life. They're just going to have to get up this first push right out of the gate. Their 1+1 is the score. Now the follow-up isn't going to be quite there yet, as everybody's just wisely retreating, realizing, all right, we don't want to necessarily force ourselves into this one quite yet, but they will at least cut the deficit down by just a bit here.
Yep, and they are going to pick off that Anarchy Nova going forward, so Memento Mori does have a little bit more of a leg room to get back here into mid, and you can see that they're already taking full advantage of that, setting up on that top mid spinner, trying to apply some pressure into the spinner of Nanotrosson. Bosian being forced back. That Crab Tank, I believe, coming out, going to be just providing a ton of pressure, forcing them to just look away from what's incoming, and you see they're in that ramp already trying to get something going. They have to get that clam in, and they have to make sure that they don't lose people in the process, but going 2 down, not the situation you want to see right now.
Yeah, definitely not the situation you want to be if you're Memento Mori. You're just going to have to retreat here for just a few more moments there and just try to make sure you can stop this push here, because look at the amount of power clamps that are available. Just the 3 power clamps out there. Nanotronics are just trying to go for an even bigger push. I think they're gonna let one expire for whatever reason in that regard. Terriermon's gonna be the one lurking here with the Inkjet, not able to find value at this stage, but all the power clamps has been jumped up top there. They are able to clear out a lot of space, and they've taken this down to 28 points remain. Make that 25 now as the rest of Nanotaurus at least breaking through the penalty points, gain a little bit more points on the board for them. And now Memento Mori has a much bigger deficit to deal with. They don't even have any specials that are available. They will at least get the power clamp, but now you gotta find some of these members here. I'm curious, who do they need to focus if they want to get back into this one?
Well, right now, Hayden has been tearing it up, moving into their base, and they need to get Hayden out of there, which they do, and now moving back in. Look how much purple ink is around mid right now. That is perfect Shark King territory for Pixel to be going around, so it's kind of in the pushes in their base, they need to be wary of Hayden getting advancement past there. Absolutely Pixel is super scary. You can already see Hayden infiltrating their base once again. Team Blue trying to turn around there to find them. Does eventually get that pick onto Hayden, but Hayden's doing such a great job of just pulling their attention away from that push, forcing them to come back time and time again. And now they're just having to stay alive through Terriermon on that Inkjet, and we know how that goes. Just one left up, 8 seconds remaining. There's a jump here, but this is looking to be prime territory for Nanotrasen.
This is just Nanotaurus and victory coming up here soon. That last power clamp is just going to expire, and that should be it there for no overtime, unless they can use that pity claim in the backside. But again, so much paint has been lost here at that stage. They're just trying to move up front. They do take out 2 members, but they just got to move up front. But they also lost the support of the rest of the team. You just got to buy themselves a little bit more time. But I may have spoke too soon. They are able to cash this one in at least for sure. But there's only 2 members up. You got to start moving up soon if your Memento Mori gets small clamps in to extend the timer for just a bit. And that pick, I believe, from Terriermon was the last advancement they needed. Nobody's going to be there to cash in on that one. Nanotrasen's going to be up 4-1. It is match point coming up here for Nanotrasen as they take home Museum Clams.
Oh, Terriermon getting that pick there was huge. You know, I can't say whether or not that would have changed the game, of course, but there's still an extra power clam in play that could have come in, that could have been jumped. There's a lot of things that could have been bad if Terriermon didn't get that pick, but they were able to secure that up for Nanotrasen here. You kind of see how that comes together right at this moment. AJ trying to come in there. They're going to be trying to get that in, but look, in the overtime timer, literally, and I didn't know, Keon, if this was going to connect in time. I thought this might be one of those moments where it was just spinning and the game ended, and it was like, too bad, so sad. And this right here, Terriermon getting that Inkjet pick onto Damp there, that was just huge for them.
Yeah, because you saw how Bebop, how close it was just for Bebop to just cash in, and then time just expired. It was like the last advancement that Memento Mori needed to at least extend the timer. You are correct though. That might have been too big of a mountain to climb for the most part there, because they need to get a lot more smaller clamps in to stall it out. So it just would have been slightly difficult nevertheless, but it would have been the last glimmer of hope. And I know you noted it there too. Would have been the push where the power clamp just kept spinning, and then all of a sudden the game just shows up by the end of it. But again, same deal. Probably would have been a bigger mountain to climb. And now Memento Mori is gonna have to face the prospect of having to win the next 4 maps to take this one home. And it's Hagovish Market Tower Control. Now, we've seen glimmers of how the first map went from Memento Mori. It's been so strong. You've seen Bebop on that Stamper and Damp on that Brush. Again, the same question stands. Has Hayden and Pixel been enough of a problem for Memento Mori to deal with so far?
I mean, they have been absolutely huge issues, and you're going to really have to look out for them here. I mean, we saw the last tower control game, which was just very clearly in favor of Nanotrasen. And if they bring that same aggression here, you're going to have to find an answer from it. You're going to have to figure out how to stop them from running you down. It looks like one of their potential solutions here is that foil squeezer, and I think that's a potentially great solution here to stopping you from getting run down, because that screen is going to be just a giant area-wide burst bomb direct that you don't want to walk through. It's going to be hard to see. It can be a really big deterrent. That might be a good key to help them out, but is it enough?
the other interesting too is it's actually dueling Anaki Novas as well. So it's a case where Memento Mori is like, all right, they've been dishing out an Anaki Nova, why not try to take them on in their game? And that's gonna be the one thing where I think the Flow Squeezer is gonna be the solid choice there. But if you're gonna be the Anaki Nova user in that situation, not only will you have to provide paint, can you get value out of your inkjets? You've seen Terriermon just get so much value out of some of the picks that they could get. So I need to see if Memento Mori can do just that. And so far, Nano Tarasen, well, they're back to the old script there. They're able to get a first explosive push. Here's the screen. It's going to be covering the left-hand side of the map where that tower is. So they're just going to have to just run away for just a few more moments there. Zuka isn't going to connect whatsoever, though. So at the very least, screen kind of may have deterred them just a bit. But now your goal is to hopefully stay alive. Damp, unfortunately, going down is not going to help matters.
No, it is not. You see all this purple ink coming on Terriermon, trying to look in there to see if they can find another, but unfortunately is not going to be able to. Pixel going down as well, but this tower is finally reaching the first checkpoint. Once again, Ocean hoping to break it this time, trying to hang around that tower and survive, and they are able to break that first checkpoint, trying to get out alive. And did they do it there? I think they did get that jump out, surviving, keeping that cooler on line to give out to their team. Coming back out here is going to be huge too. As you can see, Pixel going to be picking that up and going to automatically be moving on that left-hand side with that Zuka, finding one, finding another. Now they're going to be taking forward space, and this is going to be another potential huge push for Nano Tarasen.
And Memento Mori is in the worst position where now they're just having to play up very defensively. Now you got to deal with Boshin, who's going to be the one driving this hard. Now Hayden just follows suit. Damp goes down once more. Bebop and the rest of Memento Mori, they need to find a chance to stop him. Here comes that second checkpoint. That might be a problem there, as the screen has been dished out, trying to cover that side there for the most. Excuse me, I'm going to lose my set of words there, as Pixel and Boshin is going to be the one that's lurking large. They do go as a stagger 3 down on top of it. Now they're approaching the second checkpoint. If they clear this one, could be very good news for Nano Tarasen, and they should be able to do just that here, Tona.
Yes, they can. AJ is going to be trying to get this inkjet out, trying to save the day. Looking there at the tower, does find Bosien, but you can still see here, Pixel's got that Inkzuka out, is still alive. It looks like Terriermon and Hayden are still riding that tower. They do have a checkpoint to break, so it's going to be a close call here. That Booyah Bomb coming out, going to force Damp back around. Damp does go down, and this could potentially be the set here. They're riding it down, and they're able to close it off, Keon.
So in Maps 1, you saw just a powerful push from Memento Mori, and Nano Tarasen decided to just take it personally on their team, and you saw them run it back for 5 straight maps. And this one was again very convincingly Nano Tarasen just finding out pick after pick after pick here in the grand scheme of things. So we see the 5-1 set being the conclusion there, and I felt like this was a very cohesive team effort. And more Memento Mori, again, I gotta give a lot of props, and I there at least win the first time, then just trying to be able to fight back. But Nano Tarasen's aggression was just way too much for the group. We do get to see the replay here of pretty much the last 19 points that fall suit there. Trizuka was able to fight back, and look at how much Nano Tarasen, by the way, shifts the rest of the team, trying to navigate around. Damp was just there trying to find Boshin and Hayden. Pixel, and then they realize, all right, they're going to attack the other side. Let's loop ourselves around the other direction. And they stay alive while doing this too. And again, 4 members up, and the rest of Memento Mori was just going to go down one by one. And so we saw Nano Tarasen just adapt super quickly in map 2, and they just never looked back.
Yeah, that was huge. And I mean, talk about the turnaround from game 1. This is one of those sets that kind of look into game 1, and I was like, ooh, that's a little rough for Nano Tarasen. And it's like, they had the right idea. I was like, they just didn't have the timing. It didn't quite feel coordinated right. And then just the powerhouse the next game, they took notes. They're like, we're fixing that, and just bam, just pounded them out. Was able to get those games back to back, and was like, we're not letting this set get away from us.
And the best part too is just the way they adapted for the most part. They're like, all right, this is just not a good first map. Let's just go to what we knew best. There's Pixel on the carbon roller change, which honestly was very strong. But then the Inkjet flexing over to make that one count. They could switch over to the RBP Deco. Was a great choice overall in game 2. I think that was Terriermon that held that one out. And again, Nano Tarasen, they took that first map again. Whatever notes they took, they took it to heart because it was a 100-0 in game 2. They just decided to ride that one all the way home to the finish line there, Toma, and I felt like I was watching a very different Nano Tarasen team from maps 2 and onwards. And Memento Mori was just trying to figure out, all right, why did this not work after the first map? And then unfortunately just caught up to them when the score says 5-1 there, Toma.
Absolutely. Saf, hit us up. What were your thoughts here on this set?
I mean, dude, it's like we always say, the scoreboard never tells the whole story, right? There's so much more to think about and to witness when it happens, but it's so wild how Memento Mori gave such a strong first punch, right? You were like, okay, yeah, all right, Memento Mori's got it. Nano Tresson comes in and strikes back, but then Nano Tresson kept coming and striking back. And it's one of those things, like we talked about, it was constantly just a stacking of specials. It was the Inkjet, it was this, it was that. But it's one of those things that even in a higher division, sometimes, once you find the flow of battle and you get it and you have people jumping into you, you're casting a special after another special, it's like, what was Memento Mori to do? Nano Tresson had the rhythm. They found the rhythm and they just kept going with it once they found it. So, I mean, it's difficult to try to come back from something like that. And also, I just want to point out that we had 2 really, really competitive game 9s, and then we make our way up to 4E, and then Nano Tresson was like, knuckles are like, we've been waiting, let's just get this over with. And they did. So that was really awesome to get to watch. But, Kyon, any closing thoughts that you have?
Closing thoughts for, well, I guess not just this set, but also the rest of today. We saw Nano Tarasen and just 5-1 Memento Mori in the grand scheme of things. Just huge adaptations from map 2, being able to use their weapons very well, especially with the specials they had. We saw, I still remember the Umami zones. They had a perfect game plan switching over to the Flingza and the Custom Expo that just made it work. So by the grand scheme of things, Nano Tarasen was able to adapt quickly and make that one count. So hey, good job on Nano Tarasen. I know Memento Mori will probably feel a little disappointed that they got their first loss of the season. But hey, that's just how it goes sometimes. You got a handful more weeks to catch up there too. But again, you go from 2 back-to-back game 9s that were very competitive to this one. It kind of felt like, well, this just suddenly took a turn for a different direction.
Definitely.
Yep.
Thelma, what do you think?
I mean, just what an insane set we saw there, and specifically for Nano Tarasen, I want to say, now you're up 3-0, so now you're sitting on that precipice of you need to win one more match to be able to get that spot there into playoffs, guarantee your spot there. So, and Saf, they have really formidable opponents coming up. Next week they're facing Duck and Cover, and the week after that they're facing Seabay, who both had really incredible runs, who are really well-known teams too. So it's going to be really, really important to them. Y'all have that momentum right now, Nano Tarasen. Ride that out. Take advantage of it.
For sure, I agree with you. But you know what? Finally, that's going to do it all for us this evening. We're going to wrap it up and come to a close. We are over an hour behind, but that is okay. That is okay because we couldn't have asked for better game footage, and I appreciate all of the comms. And also, folks watching at home, shout out to the teams for waiting for us, because we got to stream 3 full matches because our second match and our third match, Memento Mori and Nano Tarasen, that they waited for us. They waited for us to come in so that we could stream them. So shout outs to the teams for waiting for us for this week 3. But for those of us here at SplatoonTourney and Ludi, that's going to wrap up week 3, and we're going to be moving in to week 4 next week. So Toma and Kyon, starting with Kyon, looking at a webpage, looking at the Twitterverse, looking at the internetverse or wherever, where can I find you?
The internet, and everybody else can find me, Kyon2570. Twitter and Blue Sky for the usual nonsense I just post on whatever I feel like. For the most part, Twitch is usually where for all the variety streams there as well. Always love to commentate as much as I can. I admit that today I've been a little drowsy, so take that as you will. Hopefully I carried that energy through to you, so that's my plug. And I'll swing it over to Toma. Where can the people find you, Toma?
Well, whether it be posting a video of somebody falling off the humpback pump track railing 3 times, posting memes, or keeping updates about my team, you can find me on Twitter at CrestofGautier or over at twitch.tv/ttoma_, and of course, last but not least, Saf, where can the good people find you?
You can just pretend to not find me. Don't find me. But if you want to, that's at Safirea, 2 P's, 2 A's on Twitter, sometimes Blue Sky. I'm out in the woods a lot. I'm out just in the middle of the water a lot. I work on boats, so you won't find me. If you want to find me, you can, but I just guarantee you that you won't. But listen, folks, we appreciate you so much. We appreciate all of our folks behind the scene. We appreciate all of our staff here at Ludi Tonight to get this going and working for you. We're closing out week 3 though, and we'll see you next week for week number 4. And remember, you are watching Ludi Tonight on SplatoonTourney. We'll see you next week. Take care.